Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Rugby World Cup. We have had 2 games so far, taken part in Pool A, and now we move on to Pool B, the Irish taking on the Romanians. Now this game could be expected to be relatively one-sided in favour of Ireland. They're on a massive winning streak and hoping to continue that all throughout the Rugby World Cup. Looking through at their starting lineup, they have gone strong here, although there are still a few changes in the starting lineup compared to, of course, what they would have liked to go with. Andrew Porter at number 1, Rob Herring at 2, that is due to the injury that we did see of Dan Sheehan in one of the Rugby World Cup warm-up games, and Tyke Furlong slotting in as the number 3, McCarthy at 4 with John Ryan at number 5. Is it John Ryan or is it James Ryan? James Ryan, isn't it? I believe that is a little bit of an error. Tyke Byrne at number 6, Peter O'Mahony at 7, and Caelan Doris at number 8. Now, I'm expecting a try from Caelan Doris in this game, and the thing is, he may not be the only one of the loose forwards who are able to get themselves over the try line in this game. He has been in some fantastic form, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do here. Jamison Gibson Park at number 9 with Johnny Sexton slotting in as the number 10, then Bundyaki and Gary Ringrose as the midfield combination. Lot of power combined with the speed there. James Lowe, out on the left wing. Keith Earls out on the right. And then Hugo Keenan to slot in at number 15. Looking through at the chat very quickly. We have got their greetings from Berlin, says Stuart Moore. And also we have got there was the background of football stadium because they do play football at this ground. So that is exactly why we would have it as the background for this one. Looking through at the Romanian side. Now, I have never commentated a Romanian game, but I am looking forward to seeing what these men can do. I've been told that the backline is one to definitely watch out for in the front row. Let's see if we can get these pronunciations right. It is going to be Hatig at number 1, Karu at number 2, and then at number 3, it is Gordas, then Motic and Nchu as the 2 lock-in duo. These are going to be rough for a little bit. Rosu at number 6, Nikalu at number 7, and then Charika, the captain, as the number 8. Rupano will be the starting number 9. Valvasa at 10, Tamane and Tangimana in the midfield. Manu Moa out on the left wing, Anutu out on the other, and then at the back it is Simeone Sku to close out the starting lineup for the Romanians. So they're a little bit of an unknown side for myself. There may be times where I hesitate a little bit with the pronunciations of names, but hopefully we will get there. In the end, looking through at the benches for these 2 sides, for the Irish, it is Ronan Kelleher off the bench alongside Jeremy Lachman and Tom O'Toole, Ian Henderson and Josh Van den Fleur coming off the bench. You know you've got a strong starting side when Van den Fleur is one of the players who you bring off your bench rather than having to start him. Conor Murray, Jack Crowley, and then also Robbie Henshaw going off the bench for the Irish as well. So I believe from the side that they've selected, it is relatively strong. They're looking to give everyone a bit of game time, get them warmed up as they head towards their later group stage fixtures. Off the bench for Romania, it is Bardasu at number 16, Savin, and Gijon at number 18. He's at 19, Sir at 20, Konak at 21, Boulder at 22, and then Gontiek at number 23, which was still slightly wrong. I feel like Sebastian will be looking at me slapping his head. And this will be good, not the game, the pronunciation, says Fintan O'Mora. And Henshaw is out, Hansen is in. Is that due to an injury, Fintan, or is that due to just a late change? I'd assume it would have to be an injury, wouldn't it? The scoreline is going to be a blowout, says Monet Lagrange. And where's Sebastian Gramar to support his rugby team, says Coding. I believe if we don't see Sebastian in this game, he is more than likely watching this game maybe with his dad. I know that he mentioned about that really early on in the rugby world. I guess probably about 2 years ago or so, he said that he was going to be watching the Romanians play with his father. But looking through at the previous fixtures for the Irish, what we have seen from them over the last month or so, they did have their win up against the Italians, 33 points to 17. That was their first Rugby World Cup warm-up game. Then they were victorious over England, 29 points to 10. And then that game up against Samoa, it was an extremely close one. That was almost able to end the Irish winning streak. But the Irish, they hung on, they dug deep, and they managed to get themselves the win. My voice, 17 points to 13. It's coming back. We're going to have it by the time the match kicks off. We're doing a lot of talking over this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. So if you haven't already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Looking through at Romania's previous fixtures, They did have their game up against the USA where they were defeated. Where they were defeated 31 points to 17. They did have the game up against Georgia, beat them 56 points to 6. And then up against the Italians, 57 points to 7. So this game's going to be pretty one-sided, unfortunately, by the looks of it. But the big question mark is, what kind of scoreline can the Irish side create here? Can they get themselves a massive points differential? Can we see a majority of their team scoring tries in this matchup against the Romanians? We will soon find out. Your voice is breaking, says Coding. It's like I'm back in high school, isn't it? Important to be fair to all the teams participating. Everyone started from small beginnings, says Patricia Black. Exactly right. Romania, they are still a growing nation. They've been playing a little bit of European rugby, which is fantastic to see. And hopefully we do see progression from them as the competition. And also, just as the rugby world moves on, 2023 may not be the year, but 2027, perhaps. They'll be a bit further up. I Amish, I watched every Rugby World Cup. Says Yanlu there. We have got plenty more matches taking place for this Rugby World Cup. Another 49 matches before we're at the final. Should be very entertaining indeed. Come on, the boys in green. Says Richard, could be 70 plus points difference. Says Akaris. Yeah, it does seem like the Irish, they will be able to get themselves quite a few. You said Maya correctly. And water will help, says Mornay. And the heat will hurt the Irish a lot today. It's 10 degrees past a hot day for us, says Finton. So yeah, maybe they will slow down in the later stages. The good news for them is the fact that Romania, you would assume fitness-wise, the Irish would have that little bit of an advantage. I should mention, Ireland are wearing the green for this game compared to the Romanians who are wearing the white for this fixture. Looking through at the upcoming games, though, for these two sides before they make their way out onto the field next week. Ireland will be taking on Tonga. Then the game after that, it will be up against the South Africans. They have a bye week, and then it is up against Scotland in a Six Nations rematch to close out the group stage. Of course, Scotland and South Africa, they are playing just a little bit later on in the weekend. That is going to be tomorrow, Monday morning New Zealand time, and that'll be around 3:35 p.m. But looking through, or 3:35 a.m. for us, about 5 p.m. or so in Ireland. But looking through at the next games for the Romanians. Their next game is up against South Africa. That will be taking place in 8 days' time. It will be a tough one to try and get through because they have got probably the two hardest games back-to-back to start the competition, Romania. They are unlucky in the draw. Then they've got Scotland, which some would argue would be the third hardest game. And then Tonga to close it out. They'll be hoping to make it relatively close in that one. It's a 4:45 a.m. kickoff here in New Zealand on the 9th of October, and that is just before the Rugby World Cup quarterfinals. Ireland, they will be looking to continue that winning streak, like I mentioned, with the side that they have got out on the field. They have certainly got a decent chance of being able to do so. Why Rugby World Cup not played in round robin manner? Then last four qualified for the semi-finals. Says Coding, it is a little bit to a certain extent. You know, you've got your 4 groups of 5. 2 sides go through to the quarters, and then from there they go to the semi-finals and the final. But yeah, each round robin, they have got 5 teams who all play each other. So you get 4 games of your pool stage, and then you do make your way through to the next stage if you have enough victories. But do let me know your score predictions in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. This one, a lot of people anticipating to be relatively one-sided. Romania, though, if they can do what Namibia were able to do in that first half up against Italy, perhaps we stay just that little bit closer for that little bit longer. But more than likely, Ireland will look to strike early and strike fluently throughout this game. This is their starting lineup. Andrew Porter, Rob Herring, and Tyke Furlong will be the front row. Then it is Joe McCarthy at 4 and James Ryan as the number 5. Tyke Byrne, Peter O'Mahony, and Caelan Doris, a formidable loose forward trio. Jamison Gibson Park at 9. Johnny Sexton returns from his ban. He will be at number 10 for this game. Bundyaki and Gary Ringrose as that midfield combination. James Lowe, Keith Earls, and Hugo Keenan as the back 3 for the Irish. The Romanian side, I know that Thurika is one to watch out for, who is playing at number 8. Valvasa and Rupanu, they will have to go through them quite often to get it out wide to Manumua and Onotu, who are waiting out on the wing for their opportunity. Try and score a monumental try up against this Irish team. But we have just heard the Irish national anthem, which means we are very close to the start of this live stream. Where can I watch this live, mate? If you are in Ireland, I believe it's on RTE for free, if I'm not wrong. So show support and hit that like button. It says bystander. Anyone who is new, also be sure to hit that subscribe button. Italy just beat Namibia by heaps. Says Mr. Billy, they did, although at halftime it was only an 8-point fixture. So the Namibians in that first half, they did play a lot better than they did in the second. I believe that this game will be relatively similar, that we see Romania trying to keep up with the Irish, and eventually that pace and that persistence from Ireland will wear them down. However, Pick, Romania is not a real rugby fan, says Connor, although the thing is, people would have said that about Japan in their game up against South Africa. People would have said that about Fiji in the game up against England. We have seen some big upsets in the world of rugby. And, you know, anything can happen. Who knows? Maybe Ireland get 2 red cards in the first 5 minutes. Then all of a sudden, that kind of thing can change. So I can understand why some people are backing the underdog in certain matches. This game, though, could end up being relatively one-sided one. So I'm not imagining they are doing strange things with the anthem, says Yvonne. So they have decided to go with the choir national anthems, which I think everyone has complained about so far that I have heard. It's even too hot in Ireland today. I say you could fry an egg on a rock in France, says usual. Sexton inviting the Romanians to move into the shade for the anthem. Smart man, says Brian. And there as well. And also Ireland at 40, by 40 at most. We never put teams to the sword, says Finton. And maybe that is something that they do want to be able to do in this game. Make a bit more of a statement. Get themselves over that 50 points, similar to what Italy were able to do. I don't say that, please, says Connor. I assume you're talking about the fact that, like, upsets happen, maybe, is what you don't want me to say. And H, please give a shout, says Jacqueline. I believe for this game, in terms of my score prediction, what did I go with? I think I went with about 58-3 or something along those lines. I have to have that open all the time, won't I? So I know exactly what I had. Come on, the boys in green, says Eldon there, and no one can explain what the French do, says Gareth. And there as well. But anyone who is new, like I mentioned, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got 2 more games happening later on tonight. Ireland taking on Romania is our second of the evening. 62 points to 6, was it? You guys know my score predictions better than I know them. Oh no, I had 58-11 in that game between Ireland and Romania. So I guess maybe some would say generous in favour of the Romanians. Please shout out to my mum, Rosa. It's her first time watching your channel with me, says Jacqueline. So shout out to you, Rosa. Hope you are enjoying the warm weather. You guys, it's probably night time, is it? No, it will be afternoon in South Africa, isn't it, Jacqueline? So hopefully it's a nice day. You'll be enjoying a braai maybe later on, celebrating possible box win. No way upset tonight, says Mr. Tees. And 36 points to 10, says Nelson for his score prediction. And Eddie Kuhn is in the chat as well. And Ireland are going to hold back, says Nelson. There's no doubt that the Japanese national team will be absolutely butchered by a choir, says Akaris. 58 points to 9. It's the prediction there from Dylan. But we are now almost ready to go for this game, ladies and gentlemen. The Irish fans in attendance for this one, they'll be looking forward to seeing a lot of tries being scored. The sun is out. It's a beautiful afternoon, and Johnny Sexton back in the Irish kit after his shenanigans will now kick us off for the start of the game. We have got greetings from Cape Town, says Buffalo. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well, and hope you are excited for this game. Countdown has begun. 2 seconds, and this game is underway. Pool B of the Rugby World Cup 2023 gets underway, and it is kicked off long by Johnny Sexton. The bounce kick towards the man who was 5 metres out from his own line for Romania. Puts it into touch. I believe that would have been, I want to say that was the fullback. No, it wasn't. It was the number 10, Valvasa. I'll slowly get the hang of the names as I start to recognise the players that little bit more. Ireland can't afford to hold back, says usual there. And thank you, yes, Brian. Great wine. Can't wait for another great game, says Jacqueline. And there as well, but now it's stolen by Romania partially, but then taken back by Ireland and then given up again back into the hands of the Romanians, and it will be the captain now, Karuku, who has got the ball in hand. Romania, they'll be looking for a lot of possession early on, and that is pretty much the best way towards not... Oh, a little bit of a miscommunication at the back from Ireland. Hugo Keenan, though, managing to take that one nicely now, going for the kick in behind, looking for a possible 50-22, but back covering was Romania. Now putting up the kick of their own down towards the Irish 22. And something that Ireland can't afford to do is be too complacent up against this Romanian side. We know that Romania, when they get it right, they can actually score some pretty decent tries. We've seen their highlights throughout the European competition. Awkward bounce for James Lowe, but now he has time to put it onto his left boot, send it way downfield. Hasn't found the touchline again, though. So Romania, this time in the form of Nicholas Onutu, Let's give it a big boot. Looking into the sun there, James Lowe. Able to take it again. Looking for the touch line. Doesn't find it. And once again, Romania look to return fire. It's a kick and battle at the moment. One of the players may have just been taken out. The referee says play on. And Ireland now in possession, about 35 metres out from their line. Gibson Park gives it across to Peter O'Mahony. Looping play around from Sexton. Nice spin from Jimmy O'Brien. In fact, it's Gary Ringrose, my apologies, in the midfield. Little grubber in behind from Sexton for Keith Earls to chase after. Brilliantly picked up there by Valvasa. And it could be a chance for the first try of the match for Romania. Inside ball and they score it. Romania, 2 minutes into the game, have struck first. And it's none other than Gabriel Rupano who has been able to score the try. I was quite loud then, but Romania have just scored the opening try of the contest up against the Romanians. No one, and I mean no one, was predicting that to happen only 100 and something seconds into this game. And also South Africa, how hope Ireland lose through or though group. Says okay, and Ireland will be afraid of injuries. Injuries will decide Ireland's World Cup, says Krampus. A brilliant steal. And it was a mistake from Johnny Sexton. He went for the kick in behind, which then sat up, and Valvasa said, thank you very much, Mr. Sexton, and then gave it off to his teammate Gabriel Rupanu, who scored the first try of the match for Romania. Now, I know a certain Romanian who will be absolutely losing his mind right now. Shout out to you, Sebastian. You would have absolutely loved that one. But the thing is, they have to keep this momentum going. It's all well and good scoring the first try, but they have to make sure that they don't allow Ireland to get straight back into the game. The kick is actually missed from straight out in front. That does hurt them a little bit. That will be the score now, 5-0 in favour of Romania. Well, you go, Romania, says Jacqueline. And how's the bench? Or who is on the bench for Ireland? So they have got Josh Van den Fleur coming off the bench. Also Mac Hansen due to the late injury change that they did have to make. And you can see the celebration on the face of the Romanians. They love the fact that they were able to get themselves an early try and expect the unexpected, says Buffalo World number 1, says Krampus. Although, of course, very early on in the fixture, nice step again from Valvasa. He is showing off his skills early on in this game. Big carry forward. This time it was by Tangimana, Irish, going for the counter rucking, but does still sit on the side of Romania. And we have got welcome on Romania. We need an upset, says Coding, and it would certainly be the biggest upset of round 1, that is for sure, if it did happen. But now Ireland have got themselves the ball again. Johnny Sexton goes off to Hugo Keenan, the 10 and the 15, working together. Nice slow tackle made by the Romanian there, Nicolau. Now Jameson Gibson Park goes up to Johnny Sexton, short ball to Bandiaki. The line's breaking, the offload. Gibson Park receives the inside ball. And now Ireland fire back with a 9 of their own. And it is Gibson Park. Tell you what, it's a good day to be a halfback, that is for sure. How did he miss that conversion, says Brian. Yeah, unfortunately got it off the side of the boot. Didn't quite connect the way he would have liked, but Ireland now back into the game. And I have to say, there's a high chance that that Johnny Sexton does get this kick over. Take it slow, Romania says okay. Johnny Sexton, nice flat ball into the hands of Bandiaki, who found the offload was the man at number 13, Gary Ringrose, and then Jameson Gibson Park. Right place, right time. Score the opening try of the Irish Rugby World Cup campaign. Get up, ya boy, ya, says Yusul. Jimmy O'Brien, the inside run from the Nines has been tremendous so far. What the feelings, Romania? And then also we got actually great rugby so far, says Alden Emerald. Yeah, back and forth stuff, which I think is a pleasant surprise, because a lot of people felt that this was going to be an extremely one-sided affair, but it seems like it is going to be quite back and forth between them. Johnny Sexton now to line up this kick, and it has gone straight down the middle. That will make the score now 7 points to 5 in favour of Ireland after only the 7 minutes off to bed, but it was worth waiting to see the start of the game night all, says Tanya C in there. And Romania are going to give everything they have, says Eldon. And that's the thing, they have nothing to lose in this case. Because if they're able to put on a good showing up against Ireland, they get a lot of respect from the rugby world. Even them scoring that first try, they would have earned a lot of people's respect. But, you know, they're in a group that a lot of people have counted them completely out. They've said it's a 3-horse race. And then there's also the exception of Tonga with the chance of causing an upset. Romania want to try and show that they could also have a chance of causing an upset every once in a while. Bundyaki hitting the ball up for Ireland. They are now only about 20 metres out from their own line. Andrew Porter goes across James Lowe. Looks for the skip pass, goes to no one, but Keith Earls was ready to try and clean it up. Puts the big fend in on Onutu. Breaks through one tackle, but is dragged down by the second defender. Gives him back across rush defence there from the Romanian prop Hatig. Now James Lowe off the left boot. Has to kick it down the field once more. Romania on the halfway line. Putting the kick up high, charging through just outside of the 22. Very good position, but James Lowe does well under the high ball to be able to clean it up. And now he looks for the boot downfield. Was it out on the full? I think he was just inside of the 22. So, oh no. He said, I'm sorry. So that is going to be going back right to where he kicked it from, just outside of the 22. And balance restored to the force, says Yvonne there. And 60-5 the scoreline, says Monet Lagrange. And also good kick, says Eldon as well, but now it is going to be Kojukaru with the line out throw. Oh, almost slapped forward by Tyke Byrne. I think it came off the knee of Andrew Porter. In fact, it clipped the hand as well, so now the scrum feed will go the way of Romania. What is your time on the game, says Adeline? At the moment for me, it is 7:44. So just at that moment, and then also 7:50 now. So I think I'm a little bit behind because I am watching on Sky Go here in New Zealand, but hopefully that helped in terms of syncing up the time. But I will mention anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 30,000 subscribers, and we currently only sit 94 away. So if you do want to help us get there, maybe even by the end of this live stream, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It will be a big joke if Oz loses this game, says Mike Noel. Of course, Ireland going to be playing in next week's game up against... They've got Tonga next, don't they? And they close out the Six Nations, or sorry, not the Six Nations Rugby World Cup with the South Africans and the Scottish. So they've got 2 games to try and find that momentum. In Australia, they are playing just around the corner up against the Georgians, I should say. That will be a 4 a.m. New Zealand time kickoff, and we will be covering that one on the channel as well. Referee tells the forwards to control their weight at the front. Thought Romania would score, but not as quick as that. But I'd say the Irish will hammer them now, says Barry. And predictions for this one, says Mr. Skits. I believe I went with about 58 points to 13 in favour of Ireland in my initial prediction. And to be honest, Romania are making it a little bit trickier to say that they will only score 13 points. They're going to continue playing the way that they started this game. But of course, as that heat wears on, they will start to fatigue a little bit. Nice scrum though, solid up against this Irish fullback. Looks like it will be the captain going off the back now. Short pass off to the crash ball specialist, Tangi Mana, who has got a huge amount of size to him. Nice run forward from Roshu now. Now off to the right, Romania looking for phase after phase. Ireland considering going into the breakdown. The ball's gone backwards from the halfback there. Try scorer, Rapanu, almost held up. Ball's still going to be available though for Romania. They might look to go to the right here after 1 or 2 more phases. Short ball again into the hands of Raju. Trying to get that counter ruck there is Keith Earl, and he wins the penalty for Ireland. No clean out there available. Romania have a big pack, says Barry. They certainly do, and didn't expect an early try from Romania. Young has said go Romania, and Romania must believe, says okay. 10 minutes into this game, 7 points to 5 at the moment, so relatively close still. Just got to keep on applying that pressure. And hi, Romania, says 12,000 THS in there as well. And how on earth do Ireland concede in the first 10 minutes against Romania of all teams, says Alani? It was a brilliant try. I feel like, to be honest, in terms of, I say it would be in top 5 or top 10 tries of this round once the whole round's finished. It was a brilliant interception. Johnny Sexton went for the kick in behind, hoping that it would find the hands of Keith Earls. It did not. Instead found Romania, and then a nice inside ball to the halfback to finish it off. Big run from Bundy Arki there for the Irish. Gibson Park going off to the left-hand side, skimming pass out wide from Gary Ringrose. Goes to James Lowe. Runs it hard at the midfield, but it is taken down by Tamani. Now Sexton across to Bundy Arki again, 45 metres. You know that man is always going to make at least a couple quick hands from Gary Ringrose. Goes off to Andrew Porter. Getting himself the start at number 1 for this game. Sexton inside ball. It's going to be knocked out of the hands of Rob Herring, but it is play on. As the referee does say it went backwards. Peter O'Mahony now looking for the offload. Gary Ringrose playing hot potato with it. No one quite able to hang on to that ball currently. Big run from Andrew Porter but he's been dragged down nicely, 25 metres out from the Romanian line now. Johnny Sexton skip pass out to Bundyaki. He'll back himself, but he is going to be dragged down again by the big forward back. In fact, it's the captain this time who's been able to stop him. Low tackle on Tyke Furlong. I think that might have almost been a bit of a head knot for Huttig in the process. Quick hands from Ireland. Our wide to Tyke Byrne. Cuts back inwards off his step. Ringrose staying down for just a second there. Hopefully nothing too serious. Nice big run offload on the inside. Ireland over again. It's Hugo Keenan this time who manages to get himself the second try. Romania no mugs. They are strong. Says Krampus. Ireland to win by points. Says Mornay and lovely hand. Says Eldon. I'd love to see Romania giving Ireland a toughie. Back to Australia versus Georgia and Argies versus England. Says Michael. Also, you're going for an upset in that Georgia game, and in fact an upset in Argentina versus England. I saw that they came in as slight underdogs. I'm not sure whether or not that was the case when you put your bet on, Michael, but yeah, it's going to be a very close game, that last one of the day. Hoping the Kiwi contingent can inspire the Romanians to play the full 80 and compete. Says Thorfinn. And also we have got there, beautiful lad, says Eldon. And floodgates opening, says Gary. And wham bam, thank you ma'am, says Hughes also. Second try of the match, this time scored by Hugo Keenan. First Rugby World Cup try for him. And of course, at the end of this round, if Ireland are able to get themselves a lot of tries, someone could be sitting right up the top of that leading try scorer mark. At the moment, Mark Talia has got 2 tries in this Rugby World Cup. He is ahead. And then on 1 try, we've got quite a few individuals, the likes of a Damien Pinot. We saw a few of the Italians getting themselves 1 try. And now another man who has just added his name to that list is Hugo Keenan for the Irish. I have a feeling England will lose, says Wise One. And also Koi Big Island, says Adam Kennedy there. Scoring between the sticks, making it a nice, easy kick. Score now sits 14 points to 5 in favour of the Irish. Even Virgin Media player not working, says Mick. Do they have it on RTE in Ireland? Mick, do let me know. I think that was another option someone mentioned that they do have for Irish viewers. That's going to be Hugo Keenan pushed into touch off the kickoff. So Romania now have got themselves the line out from just outside of the Irish 22. And rugby for me, rugby for you, rugby for them, rugby for everyone. And also we've got the outstanding commentary, says Gary Peter. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciate it. We will be here for all of Ireland's Rugby World Cup games, as well as every game of the Rugby World Cup we are planning to do on the channel as well. Really, thanks, says Mick. Hopefully it's on there. I do apologise if it's not, though. Yeah, I've heard someone say that RTE player may have it. Boring Borthwick needs a dishonourable discharge. Says Krampus, and Young has gone for the Romanians there as well. Argentina to win by 10 points, says Mornay. But now the rolling maul of Romania actually making a couple metres here up against the big Irish forward pack, although that ball would not quite come out for the Romanians. Ireland get themselves the scrum. I know it's on the English channel, says Usual. And the Argentine winger Carreras is a beast. I hope he scores tonight, says Justin. Yeah, Argentina, they're a little bit of a dark horse in this competition. And to be honest, there's probably 1 or 2 teams on Pool C and Pool D side of the draw that has got a very decent chance. I wasn't on the stream on Friday. Just wanted to know your thoughts on New Zealand versus France. Shocker. Discipline is going to be the word of the day for the ABs, and their handling has just been letting them down massively. So unless they can sort that out in their next few games, they might find themselves leaving the Rugby World Cup a little bit earlier than they would like. Clear your cookies, says Yvonne there. And also we've got there, here comes another try, says okay. And also hi from Pretoria, South Africa. How do you remember all the players' name? I'm amazed. Says Marina, it takes a lot of practice to remember certain players, but sometimes you just see the facial features or the number on the back and you just know who it is. Ireland getting themselves another penalty. But yeah, it does take a lot of time. We have done over 1,000 matches of rugby over the last 3 and a bit years. And we've done the sevens, we've done the union side of things. So quite a few of these names we've said multiple times. This is my first Romanian game, so it's a little bit more of a challenge to remember their names as well. You do not have this game as Virgin Media, says Yvonne. And also we have got there, where are the games? Is that from Iswan? If you go on the World Rugby website or Rugby World Cup website, they will have exactly where you can find it depending on where you are in the world, just because it is different depending on your geographic location. Now on the halfway line, Ireland going for the rolling maul. Peter O'Mahony now gives the pass off to Jameson, gives him Park. Sexton sold the dummy to go into the hands of Hugo Keenan. Instead, James Lowe takes it, now goes for the grubber and behind. Keith Earls after this one, tries to kick it forward. It's bounced backwards to Hugo Keenan, who's only 2 metres out from the line now for the Irish. Although Romania almost on the ball, maybe no release though. So that's why they've been penalised. But still only playing under the penalty advantage. Now Jameson gives him Park, slings it across. Sexton goes one more to James Lowe. He has the man on his outside. Tyg Burn. Oh, he almost dropped that Tyg Burn, but he has scored the try, the third now of the match. Where are the matches? Says is one for this one. It is taking place in France. I believe they're at Stade de Bordeaux, I want to say, for this matchup. I could be wrong though. And I agreed about the names remembering. Well done, mate, says Red. Thank you very much, mate. And also we have got there, is there a double bonus point, guys? Is it 50 or 60, says Alden. Sadly, that is not a thing, but I'm sure a lot of sides would have enjoyed being able to do so. And we have got, can you put on a very large pair of highly reflective glasses for us, boss? Says Mick. I think I'd get in trouble with YouTube if I did that. I do have glasses down there, but I don't think they're very reflective. They're like blue light ones to help with, like, looking at a screen for a long time. Borthwick is a pineapple cube with ham on a cocktail stick, says Crumpus. And try, says Eldon, for the Irish. And yep, this time it's Tyg Burn. So far the list is Jameson gives him Park, Hugo Keenan, and also now Tyg Burn adds his name to that list, sitting 19 points to 5 in favour of Ireland. And good speed commentary. You do horse racing too after the Rugby World Cup, says Red. A lot of people have said that. They've said that I could either go into horse racing or sell a house in some sort of auction. Gotcha. Thanks for telling me, Hamish, says Eldon there. Johnny Sexton has missed that conversion, gone away to the right-hand side. Now keeps the score at 19 points to 5. I almost said 30 there. They're not quite at 30 yet. And also we've got there 30k subscribers in the next hour, says Franz Smith. We are getting very close at the moment. We are sitting on 29,915. We are only 85 away. So anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It is hugely appreciated. Maybe by the end of this live stream, we can reach that 30,000 mark. I am from Ireland, says Tyg. And there's a welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing very well. This could be a bloodbath, says Mur. Now Ireland have got themselves the lineup from just out from their own 22. Rob Herring will have the throw. Yeah, Romania need to try and find a way of stopping this momentum, because the more that they allow the Irish inside of their 50 metres, the more tries they are going to be scoring back to back to back. That one was not straight though from Ireland. A big mistake at line out time means now that Romania relieve a little bit of pressure. I see you passed by my comments on the AB's France, your choice. Maybe you just don't like South Africans pity because I've been following your channel for a while, says Jose. I can guarantee you it wasn't because I didn't want to read your comments. It was probably because we had 5,500 people also commenting on that live stream. So sadly, I didn't get to read out every single one. So yeah, luckily this live stream we have got less people, so I will get the chance to read your comments on this one. But yeah, I try my absolute best to read every single comment. But when the chat is going as quickly as it was there, I've just got no shot. Ireland looking accurate, says Seller. Now nice run forward. An advantage for offside. Nice run forward from Hartick, and that will be the penalty against the Irish number 12. So that will be Bundy Arki, who is penalised for that one. And also we have got there, you should add the Romanian name to the list, says Yvonne. Yeah, very true. To manage to get himself the try, Rupanu, in the early stages of the match. Just subscribe to help the cause from Scotland, says Graham. Thank you very much, mate. We are covering Scotland versus South Africa tomorrow, so should be a very entertaining game. Cricket score loading. See the Irish putting more than 10 tries behind Romania, says Alfie. And also we have got there, you'll be a brilliant auctioneer and horse racing commentator. Worked in both industries, so I know, says Jacqueline. And thank you very much. And Ireland needed that try against them to wake up. Welcome to the World Cup, says Barry. And Romania actually deciding to take on the 3 points here rather than going for the 7, perhaps trying to slow this game down a little bit. I would have thought that going for the corner here would have been the better choice. But they have managed to get the 3 over, making the score now 8 points to 19 from South Africa. I'm not happy with the Irish winning by such a margin, says Olani. And what was your peak viewership on Friday? So we did reach about 5,400 watching at one stage, which was absolutely insane. But we have got now the first drinks break, 21 minutes through the match. And Ireland on top says, Tygan Borthwick, a wet squib. He has the charisma of a damp rag, says Akaris. And also, always Scott ready to lose, says okay. And also sub says Adam, thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciate it. But they are just showing the starting XP for both of these sides. No changes in the starting lineup, but we did see the injury on the bench. Oh, yeah, I've got fair enough, mate. My bad. Keep up the good work, says Jose. Yeah, sorry about not reading it, though. I do try, like I said, to read as many as I can. And yeah, that live stream just went absolutely insane. I wasn't expecting as many as we had, but yeah, on this live stream, I'll get 100% of your comments. So whatever you commented on that one, if you want to put it in the chat now, I will read it out for you. Ireland need to sort out that line out for future games, says Brian. And also Ireland will put 70 plus on Romania, says Craig, in there as well. See, that's the thing. They've started the match relatively well, Ireland, after, of course, that first try came for the Romanians. And ready to enjoy the occasion, says it was Graham. And on the lads, says Jack. Will Ireland beat the 66 spread? I think... Oh, it's tricky, isn't it? Because Romania, it only takes about a minute for them to concede a try. But for Ireland, if it takes about 5 minutes to score, it may mean that it's a little bit harder to get to that 66 ahead. Definitely if they do keep on conceding the occasional point to the Romanians as well. So I would say probably less than 66 points, the winning margin, but there is a chance that they could also propel in the second 40 minutes. You don't need to apologise for not reading someone's comment. You do a great job, says Pixie. I always feel bad, though, because, like, at the end of the day, you guys go through the effort of being able to comment on these streams, and I enjoy being able to read out the messages, say who it was that said it, so that you guys, you feel involved in the rugby community side of things. As well, Red Hell has given us a donation. South African Rand 35. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciate it. And there. Yeah, just showing the momentum tracker. We saw the first try for Romania in the second minute of the game. Then from there, Ireland have got themselves 3 successful tries, and then the 1 penalty coming more recently for the Romanians, sitting at 19 points to 8. Hamish hates us. Says Gareth, I do not think that's the case, no. Sebastian, he will be loving this performance so far from the Romanians. I believe he is one of our main Romanian viewers. He's been a part of the channel for over 2 years. He's been watching us. Been waiting for this opportunity for the Romanians to go out there and prove themselves. That's the second 20 minutes. They will try and do just that. But Johnny Sexton about to kick us back off for the second 20 minutes of the first half. We have got a few drinks breaks that do pop up along the way, ladies and gentlemen, with the heat that they have got. Watching from Namibia, says Chris there. Were you impressed with Namibia's first half performance? Chris, do let me know, because I felt like they did very well keeping it with the Italians. That is another penalty going the way of Romania. And the breakdown, not releasing. Do you think New Zealand has a bigger plan after losing to South Africa and then France? Still being quiet, says Mr. Skits. I don't think they can plan out the amount of penalties and stuff that they are giving away. I think it's just poor discipline from the ABs. And yeah, they will have to try and improve before their next game. They have got Namibia next, so it will be interesting to see how that goes. Romania, nice kick downfield, down towards the halfway line now. With the line-out, they've just come up with a stat that was penalties conceded, and they had 0 from both teams, which isn't correct because we just saw one. Not sure what McCarthy did wrong there. Says Eldon, I think it involved a player not rolling away in time or something along those lines. I think I heard the ref say. Come on, Aaron. I show them how it's done. Up the Irish, my fatherland. Says it was there from Gale. Now thrown in. Not claimed though by Romania. Andrew Porter ends up with the ball for Ireland. Romanian hooker there. Kojukaru trying to get it back for the Romanians. Not quite able to do so. Now looking to go to the left-hand side. Jamison gives them park. Gives it off to Peter O'Mahony. Nice step. Driving into the challenge of the big Romanian 4-pack. Keith Earls, long way off his wing, but has had a decent piercing run towards the Romanian 22 now. Nice short ball from Johnny Sexton to Caelan Doris. I think that is almost one of his first runs we have seen, but he is a player that I said was going to be able to get himself a try throughout this matchup, and I'm hoping I will be correct in that statement. Nice work, though, through the hands of Peter O'Mahony, going out wide now for Ireland. Sexton, back across, short ball, off to Tyke Byrne. He's already got himself one for the day. Sexton thought about the kick in behind, but now just sending it out to the winger. James Lowe receives the ball, one-on-one, breaks through the tackle, tries to go for the offload on the inside to Keith Earls, but he's put it down, and now scrum feed for the Romanians again. make the Irish tired. And also we have got there in the chat, mate, you have been doing a great job with this. Great commentating while reading messages. Job well done from a South African, says Dylan. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated. And yeah, sometimes when the chat's going very quick, my voice just can't quite go quick enough to be able to read them out at the same time. But luckily, on a majority of these streams, I will be able to get through each and every message. Great commentary again, Kiwi Lad, says Kieran. My comment was that towards the end of the game. You were hoping the All Blacks would get the bonus point while the AB's looking for a bonus point. I thought that was classic. Says Jose. Yeah, that's the thing. With the way that Italy were able to play, they got themselves the bonus point in their game up against Namibia. So it then means that slowly the All Blacks find themselves going further and further down. And like someone mentioned, Italy could go into that game up against the All Blacks with 10 points compared to the ABs only sitting on about the 5. So that little bit of scoreboard pressure might hurt the ABs in the long run. Hopefully these easy matches brainwash Ireland to thinking they are better than they are. Says okay, although to be fair, an 11 match or so winning streak for the Irish up against some great sides. I certainly have confidence going through this Rugby World Cup. How did New Zealand react to the first ever loss in the group stage, says Mornay. I'll be honest, I've been that busy doing a whole heap of videos and scheduling streams trying to get little naps in during the day that I haven't seen a huge amount of anything from the social media side of things. But I'd assume that a lot of people aren't too happy with the All Blacks. Definitely because that's 2 games in a row now that their discipline has been less than ideal. And same with the handling department as well. But now scrum feed, 5 metres out from the line for the Romanians. Anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are now less than 80 away from the 30,000. So if you do want to help us out, it's hugely appreciated. And also we have got there Labuschagne, smashing South Africa in a cricket game, says Wise One. And I'm enjoying the commentary, can sense the fast pace of the game, says Patricia Black. Yeah, to be fair to the Romanians, they have tried to keep up with the tempo that the Irish are playing. The problem is later on in this game, though, is that when we start to see Romania really start to tire, and then maybe Ireland start to open those floodgates. Ball about to be fed in by, it will be Rupanu. Huge scrum from the Romanians, trying to force, or actually getting forced backwards, I should say. Now only 2 metres out from their line. Ireland trying to force a 5 metre scrum. I think they've only really got the option of box kicking from here, and he has, it's charged down, or was it? I think he kicked it into the back of his own player, but it becomes a penalty to Romania for an Irish player being offside. I believe that's against Andrew Porter, so a bit of a reprieve again for Romania just out from their own line. Yeah, kicked it straight into the side of his forwards. Mush. Tell you what, that's a bit risky. I feel like he'll get absolutely pummeled for that. Also 100% Irish from both mum and dad's side. But I truly want Romania to do well in this game. Love your commentary on the New Zealand-France match last night. Keep it up, Jeff, in France. And we have got plenty more matches of this Rugby World Cup coming just around the corner. And Red Bull, bro, lots of it. We can't lose this feed throughout the championship. Well, the plan is to go all the way through. I don't think it will be tiredness that stops me. It's whether or not my voice ends up disappearing. But hopefully it doesn't. It's a nice throw from Romania, claimed by, this time it was Motic. Just outside of the 22, about 25 metres out from their own line. Put back into the pocket now for Valvasa to put height on it. Looking straight into the sun was James Lowe, but he has done very well to be able to clean it up. Look close to forward, and it's past to Hugo Keenan, but breaking the line again. Finally offload to Tyke Burney as the man on the outside of James Lowe. Inside ball to Jameson Gizenpark, who just knocks the ball on. It's a little bit too far in front of him. Vamos los Pumas, eh? Oui. Says Marcelo, and of course they are going to be playing just a little bit later on tonight. That'd be absolutely awesome to watching from Phil, says Jovelin. Hopefully I've said that correctly. I told you to take some honey, says Jacqueline. Although saying that, honey will be very handy, but I think also talking for so many hours straight will still hurt it as well. The only thing interesting about this game is how much are Ireland going to win this match, says Jose, and just subscribe to, says Jeff, so thank you very much, mate. Jaden Smith has said, where can I watch the game? Your best bet is to go on the Rugby World Cup website. They will have a list of where you can watch depending on where you are in the world, because there's going to be a few differences depending on whereabouts you are. For us in New Zealand, it's on Sky Sport. I love the haircut, says Maritz. I had to get one because I was looking like a mop a bit earlier on, so you ended up getting a haircut. I had to go and travel to get one because our local barber broke her leg. Not from hair cutting. That would be very unfortunate, but I think she fell off something. Probably a horse. I think she lives on a farm. Now, Romania looking to use this off the back. Giving it back into the hands of the try scorer, Rupanu. Taken nicely by Hugo Keenan inside of the Irish half. We are 27 minutes through this game and it is still looking like it's going to be played fast. And Ireland now looking to try and get a set piece going in their back line. Tyke Furlong, intercepted pass, goes straight into the hands of the number 13, Tomane, for the Romanians, and they still have the possession up until they lost the ball in the breakdown and the penalty. She can still cut here with a broken leg, although to be fair, I feel like she deserves a break. I think she's been doing it for about 20 years, doing the barber side of things. Patient Island, there's a long way to go, don't force it. You only cough up the ball and get frustrated, says Kurnovic. And will Bundyaki get a try today? I think we have a decent chance of doing so. And Ireland's winning streak will come to an end against the Springboks, says Monet Lagrange. And of course, those sides are going to be playing in about 2 weeks' time, I believe it is, that they do go head-to-head. Closing game in the pool stages. Ireland will be taking on Scotland. And anyway, less about England. We are listening to you commentate very well as either on this game. Let's hope you get to 30,000 subscribers today, says Akaris. Yeah, we are getting closer. We are only sitting now 70 subscribers away from that 30k mark. Bundyaki crash ball out to the 22-metre line for Ireland. Oh, it smacks straight into the face of, I think that was actually Rob Herring, who hasn't looked the best throughout this game so far. I'm sure they will love to have Dan Sheehan back from his injury when he's available. Now Matt Hansen was added into the bench due to the injury, unfortunately, of, who was that, number 23? I think it was Robbie Henshaw. And Aki will try for a try. Says Gur there, and thanks, says Tanatswa. Hopefully I've said that correctly. Right, the time is off. They're going to be checking something. They're beatable, says Monsieur. And just subscribe, shout out from South Africa, says David Chapman. So thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated. In about 26 hours' time, South Africa will be going head-to-head with the Scottish. It's going to be an absolutely outstanding game. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it ends up going. Anyone wondering about the other games? Well, we have got a bit of an injury stoppage / player replacing one of those boots. Huge studs on the bottom of the boots of the Romanian forwards, but looking through at the future games that we have got, we have already seen this one and this one. They have taken place. We are currently on Ireland versus Romania. Next game kicking off in just under 2 hours' time. That will be between Australia and Georgia. And then later on tonight, England versus Argentina. That is in about 5 hours' time. Then tomorrow, we've got Japan versus Chile. That is at 11 p.m. New Zealand time. 3:45 a.m. South Africa versus Scotland. And Wales taking on the Fijians at 7 a.m. The best way of working out the time zones compared with when these games are for me is pretty much if you are in South Africa, add the, I believe it's 14 hours. Or actually, no, sorry, take 10 hours away. So South Africa versus Scotland taking place at 5:45 p.m. on Sunday in South Africa. And agreed, Stan, says David. We'll go like that. And we have also got there, are you going to have your hands full, maybe, from Jose? And also, yeah, I do stand not brand biased, says Gurno Wick. Nice kick downfield from Ireland. Romania now having to try and attack inside of their own 22. Valvas, a great run from him. Finds the offload up as well for the Romanians. Already has a try assist to his name. He did end up missing the opportunity. Get that line break once more. Big kick downfield from the Romanians. Can Argentina beat England? I think they've got a decent chance to. Now, kick towards the touch line. Oh, was it out on the full from Ireland or did it just stay in? I believe just avoided the touch line. Now Romania with Valvasa. He tries to run it himself. He is going to be under a huge amount of pressures now from the Irish fullback. But fair play to Romania. They have been able to hang on to that ball once more around the side of the breakdown. Back up to his feet there. The skipper. 35 metres out. 10 minutes remaining in this first half. I don't mind the Springboks losing to anyone except the French. Says, okay, you're going to have your hands full with all the Springbok supporters on your channel. Says Jose, yeah, it is going to be a pretty hectic live stream, I have a feeling. We have got there, check the stats too, but it's open, I agree. However, says Stan, and Romania is holding well. Says 12,000. Johnny Sexton takes the quick tap though after the penalty was received by Ireland. James Lowe, 5 metres from the line, tackled by Simeonescu. Now loose ball, Romania, that was tapped for, going back for another penalty. And this time it will be a yellow card against Romania. I believe that is Nicholas Onutu, who has now been penalised for not being back the 10 metres. Now down to 14 men, and that is actually when in the last game we saw a little bit more momentum being formed. In fact, it was Simeonescu, the number 15, rather than 14, but when Namibia were down to 14 men, they conceded 2 tries. And I have a feeling that this might be the case in this game as well. We have got there, we'll see Mark. Personally, I don't give one. I'm an Irish supporter, but whatever. We will see, better find a good 9. And a kicker only joined now. How the scrum's doing, says Johan van der Merwe. At the moment, I mean, Romania haven't been too bad. They have been forced back a little bit, but I don't think they've given away too many penalties at scrum time. Normally, the ball has just managed to sneak out the back before any real significance, although they have got a scrum 5 metres out from the line now for the Irish, so more than likely we could see an advantage just around the corner. Visits to the opposition 22 so far. Ireland visiting the Romanian 22 6 times. Romania still having the 3 visits though, so they will take that every day of the week. Now Jameson gives them Park. Feeding the ball in, Ireland patiently waiting to see if they march forward. No, solid from the Romanians. Now going off to the right-hand side to Bandiaki. Only 5 metres out from the line now. Short pop pass. McCarthy's close. May have just been held up though, although the referee will want to check this, or does he? I think he said it is going to be held up. So it is a goal line dropout. Okay, and England, says Dylan. And also the South African, love the way you pronounce the Springboks name, says Jose. And also we get the hi from Jacob. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. We didn't watch the stream. The best option to be able to watch this game would be to look on the Rugby World Cup website. It will have a list of everywhere that is available broadcasting-wise. And we have got there, as an Irish fan, I think there was a weak yellow card. See only the commentator, no live play, says Susan Swartz. Yeah, sadly, due to licensing, if we show any match footage or audio, we do get taken straight off YouTube. So sadly, we aren't able to show anything in that regard, but the highlights will be up on YouTube straight after the game as well on, I believe, World Rugby's YouTube channel. So be sure to check that out. But McCarthy was extremely close to getting himself over the try line now. Will be Valvassa. Kicks it back downfield for the goal line dropout. Nicely taken by Keith Earls. Now a big run forward from Caelan Norris. I've got Josh Van den Fleur coming off the bench as well, so a brilliant option to have in the later stages of the game. Bundy Aki now has got the option on the outside, but he decides to go himself. He's broken straight through Aki, and that will be the 4th now for the Irish. The bulldozer of a man at 12 gets over the try line, and the penalty with the yellow card against Romania earlier on does seem like it's certainly going to cost them. We have got their best commentator. I like the energy. Thank you, Donkey Boss. Says it was Nkosinathi. Hopefully I've said that correctly, but thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated. Great, good commentary from Charles. And also South African in the USA, says Martin there. A big run from Bandiaki. Unfortunately, Manumua, I should say, just didn't quite have the speed that was required to try and cut off Bandiaki's pace. Nice play, lads. Try, says Eldon there. I can't believe France beat the All Blacks, says Jacob. Yeah, although looking at the way that the two sides played, there was certainly one that stood out as the better side on the day, and it was not the All Blacks. I really waste my time responding to idiotic comments, but yours are more a reflection of you as a person, says Gary Smith. And the England-Argentina game is a coin flip, with the bookmakers exactly 50-50. Yeah, it's got to be the closest game of the weekend in terms of that points margin, perhaps, as well. Next game that we are covering, it is going to be Australia versus Georgia. That is one certainly watch out for. That is taking place in an hour and 45 minutes time. So if you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Ireland's strategy should be to get the bonus point win and finish injury-free, says Time Mechanic. Yep. And at the moment, they have got themselves currently that bonus point after the 4th try was scored by Aki. The kick is successful from Johnny Sexton also. Now it makes it 26 points to 8. Are you all wise, my friend, says David. To Gary, and good kick, says Eldon. Bandiaki slamming that ball down. It was a good low tackle made by, it was a Valvassa, but once Bandiaki is within a few metres of the line, he's always going to be impossible to stop. I was one of the few Was one of the few women here stop, says Yvonne. And Aussie's not your friend, says Crumpus. I feel like they're getting along better than they get along with you, Crumpus. And now a big run forward from McCarthy. Tries to get back up to his feet and go again. 22 metres out from their own line here, Ireland. And almost time to take Johnny off, says Time Mechanic. Well, that's the thing. They'll have to think strategically about when they want to play Johnny Sexton till. Great diving catch at the back for Valvassa. Took it like a football goalkeeper. 2 hands. Get into that one. Wake up Ireland, says Irish one. And Ireland without Sexton, says Stan. In the second half, they more than likely will be. They don't want to risk Johnny Sexton in these first couple games. Want to make sure that he's fresh for those later ones. And there's no disrespect to Romania, but I'm on shrooms. If I'm expecting Ireland to win this by 70 plus, but yes, my bet today depends on it, says Red Hell there. Now Matt Hansen. Sorry, it's actually Hugo Keenan. My apologies. And he has booted that out on the full. They will go back to where it was kicked from. If your head's on the money, you're doing well. But if there's money on your head, get out of town. I'm Murray Mixted. And that was today's pithy Irish saying. Says a power bite there, and Argentina will whip the English, says Michael. I feel like it could be quite a close one, though, between the two sides. Definitely because the betting odds have it pretty much a 50-50 split, so it's going to be an entertaining game. My voice should still be intact by that matchup. Line-out's won so far. We've seen 4-1 by Romania, just losing the one. They've actually had a more successful line-out in this game than the Irish. Yep, not long now, no need to risk him. Says Kerno Wick, but Ireland actually getting that ball back. So that is one benefit that they've had. Is when Romania have had the line-out throw, they have still managed to get it back eventually. Now it's a foot race between the two number 14s. Keith Thurles manages to cut it off, knocked forward out of his hands. That will be now the scrum beat for Romania, 10 metres from their line. But Keith Thurles, he is sweating on the opportunity of getting himself a try here. Good chase in behind. Initially, who was it that went for that kick in behind? I think it was actually, it was Hugo Keenan who went for the little boot. It is good to see the minor teams, or to see the minor teams improving their skills. Just compare it to the previous 3 Rugby World Cups, says Gary Smith. Yeah, exactly right. I feel like this World Cup, a lot of people have said on paper, it is going to be the closest World Cup we have ever seen in terms of the split between the top teams and the bottom sides. Oh, referee just having a bit of a chat with one of the players about a possible challenge in the year, I think I heard. If Ireland hits 60 plus, it means Romania seriously need help. Having been surpassed by neighbours Georgia, says Simi Souza. Keep Sexton for the box, as they will certainly need him, says John Greenless. Or Greenlees, I should say, and got to mow the lawn. We'll check in the second half, says Stan. So we will see you a little bit later on. 1 minute remaining. Only 2 minutes remaining on the yellow card as well, I should mention. But Ireland, they have scored 4 tries in this first half, already sitting with a bonus point for now. Northern Hemisphere 2, Southern Hemisphere 0, says Dylan. And there as well. True. So I feel like the Northern Hemisphere, they'll be relatively happy with the start that they've had. This one, seeing as it's North versus North, I guess it doesn't really count towards it. But the Irish, of course, looking dangerous here. And at the end of this game, there is a chance we see all 3 of the 6 Nations teams getting themselves victory up till this point. And if RG's with the English, a Baltic will disappear, says Kerno Wick. And for now, well, on board of the Rugby World Cup already by everyone, says Grumpus. We will see you probably at some stage when you decide you want another argument. Come on, Romania, says Jerry. Quick tap taken by the Irish. Jameson Gibson Park dragged down by his collar, but Bundyaki breaking another tackle. Inside ball, it's Johnny Sexton who scores the try. Oh, he's taking a bit of a late shot there from the outside centre. He does apologise to him. Johnny Sexton's going, you've broken me fingers. But Sexton has scored his first try of the Rugby World Cup. What happened to that scrum, says Yvonne? Yeah, it wasn't the smoothest, was it? A lot of movement. But it was a big shot coming in on Hugo Keenan. Then from there, Jameson Gibson Park, he took the quick tap, does the step, and Johnny Sexton, he was in, ready for the support run, received the pass from Bundyaki, and scores the try between the posts. Saying that Johnny Sexton might have a bit of a hand injury here. Slows up, and then it was Tamane slid in underneath. You apologise. It's okay. Not to Johnny, though. Says Power Bite and good stuff, says Eldon. And that kick has gone over. That will make the score at halftime 33 points to 8. So I believe that's about where people expected it to be, around the halfway. But we still need to mention that brilliant first try scored by the Romanians in only 2.5 minutes of this game. But then from there, Ireland, they found their momentum. They scored 5 times. Bundy Aki got 1. We saw a try scored by the fullback Hugo Keenan, Johnny Sexton, Tyg Byrne, and then also the other try scorer was Jameson Gibson Park. Looking good, Hamish. Good call. Belusa suit and tie, says Timid. And yeah, we got quite a few live streams back-to-back today. We may have the suit back tomorrow, perhaps, but for now, we are going to be just wearing the hoodie for today. But we've still got 2 more games later on tonight that I should mention. About 1 hour, 40 minutes time is when the match between Australia and Georgia will be taking place. Should be very entertaining game, and then that is followed by a game that could go either way, England versus Argentina. So if you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Ireland, put the Romania in, says Belinda. And remember that Romania conceded 50 points to Georgia, says Powerbite 92 in there as well. I want to watch here where, says Pian. So your best bet is to go on the Rugby World Cup website. They will have the options of whereabouts you can watch depending on where you are in the world. Some options are free, some are subscription based. So hopefully where you are, they do have the option of watching completely for free. But that first half, I think we definitely saw more possession from the Irish. Second half, though, I feel like we will start to see Romania tire a little bit more. Nice one, Johnny Boy, says Kerno Wick. And thud, says Brian. And there as well. But looking through at the benches for this matchup and who the Irish have got available. Ronan Kelleher at number 16, Jeremy Luckman and Tom O'Toole as the front row replacements. I wouldn't be surprised if Kelleher makes his way onto the field maybe a little bit sooner than anticipated. The reason being, I feel like Rob Herring hasn't had the best game in the starting lineup up to this point. Ian Henderson at 19 with Josh Van den Flair at number 20. He is a phenomenal talent. I'm sure he'll be able to have an impact later in this game. Connor Murray at 21. Jack Crowley. I don't think they'll risk Johnny Sexton for too much longer in this game now that they are sitting with the comfortable lead. And then also Robbie Henshaw sitting there at number 23. Although that was the late change, and it is actually Mac Hansen now who is the last reserve of the bench for the Irish. For Romania, they have got Badazu at number 16, Savon, and Gajion at number 18. Number 19's name, I feel like I will just embarrass myself trying to say, but he's there. Sir at 20, Kunache at number 21, Bulder at 22, and then Gontanek at number 23. Overall, I would say not a bad performance from either of these sides. There's been a few handling errors along the way for the Irish. Penalties conceded, I think, would be relatively similar, maybe about 6 from the Romanians, 4 or so from the Irish. Romania need Vlad Impaler. Says Wise One, if on the phone, where to watch it, says Ben. Once again, World Rugby's website or the Rugby World Cup will tell you the best option depending on whereabouts you are in the world. Scotland was 6-0 down to Georgia at this point last month, just saying. Says Time Mechanic, although the end score in that game, of course, 33 points to 6 in favour of Scotland. So it shows that the second half, similar in this game, I believe we will see a lot more aggression coming from the Irish, a few more set plays, taking a few risks to see whether or not they can reap the rewards. Go my country, Romania, says no one. And also we have got the Ireland, can't take nothing out of this game, just some more practice, says Democracy. Although they can start to get themselves a little bit more confidence, I would say, because their last couple performances, definitely that last one up against Samoa, in which they were only able to win it by the 4 points. I think that they were very lackluster in that game, and they knew that they could improve, and that is what they're trying to do here. They're starting to build that arc towards the quarterfinals. Of course, they want to make it further in this one than they have ever made it before in a Rugby World Cup. I need to recall my bet. I might go to 87-13, says Babylon there. And why go to Romania? There's more here than there, says Finton Omora, and 629 liking and only 120 likes. Hit the like button and show support, says Bystander. So anyone who is new, be sure to also hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We are currently sitting only 55 subscribers away from the 30,000. So our goal, I guess, should be to try and hit it by the end of this live stream. But if not, we have still got 2 more happening later on tonight. But if you do want to help us out, it is greatly appreciated. We're doing a lot of this Rugby World Cup at all random hours of the night. And I cannot wait to have you all here joining me for them. Now, we'll go like this, And we will go like that as well. There we go. I was just checking some statistics. We've seen a lot more carries and a lot more meters made by the Irish. 18 tackles missed by Romania is hurting them. 6 penalties against the Romanians compared to the 3 of the Irish. I should say. And Romania is beautiful, says Powerbite. Romania bad, says moved in there. Who do you think will take the cup, says Kalen. So in my initial prediction, I did go, I believe South Africa, I said would take it out. But that was before knowing who was going to be in the lineups. That was before seeing some of the form for the sides. I believe that Ireland, they should be able to get further than we've ever seen them get before in this Rugby World Cup. Well, they did good, the Romanians, says moved. And also we got the South Africa, says Haka Harvey, and Ireland lineouts, if he so far says democracy. And I think that is due to Rob Herring. Unfortunately, they would have loved to have Dan Sheehan available, but due to injury, he is out for a little bit longer. Just showing there, Jameson Gibson Park running in the try. He'll be a very happy man with that one. Saw Bundy Arquez score as well. Johnny Sexton got himself one. And also Hugo Keenan and Kalen Norris. Maratoji never gets dropped, never. And now Sinkler's out, says Powerbite. And Ireland for the World 8, says Stephen there. And England won't win it, says moved. It is the best opportunity ever for Ireland or France to win a World Cup, says Wise One. Exactly right. And the fact that it is one of the closest Rugby World Cups that we are expecting in a long time, although maybe this is just a sign of things to come. And the fact that Rugby World Cups from here on out could have more than just a few horses in the race. It could be a full field, which I think will add a lot more excitement all around the world. And there are a few sides at the moment who aren't in the best form, but have got a decent chance of making it far in the Rugby World Cup. Ireland at the moment, they're on a monumental winning streak though, so they will want to continue that all the way through this Rugby World Cup competition. And with some silky backline moves that they have got up their sleeve, should be able to do a decent job. Ireland for the World Cup win, says Stephen. And also we have got the Argentina to tonk England, says Powerbite 92, no change. The cup coming to South Africa, says Jerry. And South Africans are brutal and bloody minded. I expected them to get over France in the final, says Haka. And I'm on a train on my way to Manhattan to wait, says Mo. And World Rugby need to get tier 2 and 3 nations more involved in the bigger games to help them develop and grow long term, says Ken. Because, I mean, we already saw what Namibia were able to do in that first half up against the Italians. Like, their backline, they got like 14 phases, something along those lines, which was absolutely fantastic for them. Yes, the second half went a little bit more downhill. But then with the fact that they aren't used to playing the teams who do play that high-intensity rugby, that was always going to be the case. Box versus Ireland will be the same battle that New Zealand versus France had. So here's Michael there. Yeah, just showing Volvasa, he's had 118 metres made so far compared to Johnny Sexton, who's only had the 32. Kicking metres 331. We've only seen Johnny Sexton kick 27 metres throughout this game. I'm Irish, but I live in Romania. My wife is Romanian. Come on, Romania, says Stephen Dalton. New Zealand versus France was a bad game, says Powerbite. I feel like it had that test match feel, didn't it? In terms of, we knew that the opening game of the Rugby World Cup was never going to be a completely smooth one without errors, without penalties against the sides. There's a lot of nervous energy going into a competition, definitely for the French, being in front of a home crowd. But, you know, overall, I don't think it was a terrible game. Like, some moments in the game, both sides were pretty rough. You know, the All Blacks giving away a lot of penalties, a few handling errors along the way as well. But you know, overall, I feel like the fact that both sides still had a chance in the last 15 minutes to win it made it an all right game in my eyes. Now, just showing some of the highlights that we're seeing from Romania when they've been on attack, and mainly from that man at number 10, Hinkley Volvasa. This is a good game for Sexton to get some game time in, says Sifosethu. Hopefully I've said that correctly. And Italy to beat France or New Zealand. Imagine them being the reason New Zealand not only lost their first pool match yesterday, but don't get out of the pool, says Kian. Oh, that fruit looks really nice. They got a whole pretty much fruit smorgasbord at halftime for the Irish boys, and no one's touching their bananas. But I was about to say, but I would, but not theirs, but the fruit on the table. They got a whole heap of fruit juice in the Romanian changing sheds as well. Everyone getting those electrolytes, getting some sugar into the bodies, getting ready to go for the second 40 minutes. I come from the future. The final of this World Cup will be between New Zealand and France. I don't know the score because my time machine broke down, says Sergio. You think they're going to get there? The Kiwis, that is. Banana kicks incoming, says bystander. Just showing two sides. They look determined. Monster, says Wise One. And New Zealand are still hurting from the hiding they got from the box. Go the box, says Michael in there. And yeah, it was the start of some pretty ordinary form from the All Blacks. Their discipline has been less than ideal. About 11 penalties. My wife loves bananas, says Democracy. And the water break they had for the island at 20 minutes was ridiculous. It's like a picnic, says Philippines. And there as well, because I think they've got designated drinks breaks once each half, don't they? And Marcelo has said Argentina. And the chat in their game is getting closer and closer, 4.5 hours away from that match taking place. Do you think we'll see something from Romania the second half? Ireland looks sloppy in areas. Seen sparks with Romania kicking away too much. Says Keen, I think they will struggle in the second half. They will still, I believe, be able to get themselves one more try in this game at some point, just because of the skill that we're seeing from Valvasa. Rupano's working pretty nicely with him. Sergio, you are dreaming the box already have their name on the trophy, says John Greenleys. When all is said and done, fans will only refer to the score on the end of the game in a few years. Reference to Le Bleu and the All Blacks last night, says Gary Smith. And I from GQ, says Sean. Welcome in once again. Hope you are doing very well. Hope you're enjoying your South African afternoon. Hopefully the weather is looking pretty nice. Currently in France, they are still sitting around that 28 degrees Celsius, so relatively warm for these players. And also the Irish are clearly struggling with the heat. But I believe the heat wave is only supposed to last this week. And then after that, it's supposed to get a little bit nicer as we move throughout the Rugby World Cup. Coconut water is good hydration fluids, says Patricia Black. Speaking of hydration, I should probably have more water, or else I will not have a voice by the end of the day, which would not be ideal because we've still got 3 more live streams tomorrow. I mentioned about Japan. They are playing Chile. South Africa, they are playing Scotland. And then at the end, Fiji versus Wales to close out the weekend of rugby. The only good thing for Romania is that we actually qualify for the World Cup, unlike football, says Daniel Dan. Very true. And some would consider Romania just that little bit lucky for the qualification. It was due to the Spain disqualification that Romania then were the next ranked side, so they were able to get in, but they will take it well and truly, and it's a massive learning experience for the Romanians here. They're showing me pizza on my screen, and now I want pizza, but it's 2:30 a.m., so no pizza place will be delivering around here. We don't even have a pizza place where I live. I would have to travel 30 minutes to get pizza. We have got there Argentina, and they're from Wise One, I should say. And he is definitely playing a factor, says bystander. So yeah, I don't think either of these sides will go well and truly all out in the early stages of the second half. They'll try and pace themselves with the heat that they are going to have to deal with. Romania bring the Orihangi half-time, good job. And also, what do you call a Frenchman that holds the Webb Ellis Cup? Says Herman. I assume you're going to say the referee, aren't you? And Romania, oh no, I read that one. Is this their first World Cup? I don't think so. I think they've been in 1 or 2 before for the Romanians. Pizza choice, Hamish, says bystander. I would probably go... I'd go with just a classic like barbecue chicken or something like that. And graver, says Herman. I'll die in All Black. They will make a comeback. They always have, says Karinska. And also we have got there, drink the water. It will be good for your voice. So yeah, we will be consuming plenty of litres of liquid throughout the next about 24 hours. Romania getting ready to make their way back out onto the field, being led by their hooker, and then followed by Chirika. Or Chiriku, I should say. No, it is Chirika, I think. It's freaking hot in South Africa, Pretoria too, and it's spring apparently. And also, sorry, we are speaking Kosa. Average says, sharp, no worries at all. I'm not too far from Bordeaux, and I confirm it's hot, humid, and still 34 degrees here, probably a little cooler on the coast, says Jeff. So yeah, both of these sides, they will be feeling that heat in the second half. Ireland, I wouldn't be surprised if they start making changes just a little bit earlier on. First time I've engaged in this format, pretty cool, Kiwi lads, on the Passion with the Bri Fire coming up, or coming alive. This is the live, says Red. And yeah, we've always talked about it throughout our rugby live streams, like, yes, we do the commentary, but I think the best part of these streams is always having you guys in the chat as well, talking all about the match as it progresses. And hey, Kiwi, how you doing? Still 2 matches to go, my friend, says Darius. I'm doing all right for now, and I'm doing a lot better than I thought I would be after only getting 2 hours sleep. So, you know, we're doing all right. I think in the last 24 hours or so, we've had about 2 hours sleep, and it's going to be even longer because we've got another maybe like 10 hours of being awake, but we're doing well so far. Nice run forward from Caelan Norris to start off the second half for the Irish. The ABs are looking to go home early, says Brian. And Romania deploying. Secret Police second half, says Power Bite now down the wing. And it's Hugo Keenan. I actually saw an Irish player getting up a little bit slower, or it slapped down on this near side from Tamane. I believe it will just be a penalty. What's the chair situation, says Yvonne? I am still on that same wooden chair as I've been on for a lot of the past live streams. So I didn't quite get a chance of being able to buy one before the Rugby World Cup. The funds weren't quite there, so I will probably have to buy one in the future instead. And Kiwi lads, I know I read that one. Also, the history could teach us one lesson in life. Should be that at Rugby World Cup there are always surprises. Nothing is ever certain until the end, says Dylan. And I feel like that is what will make this one so entertaining, is because there are so many options of being able to go in and get themselves the upset. I'm wondering which is going to be the first big upset, though. Like France versus New Zealand, they came in as slight underdogs, but a lot of people would have still said that France, like in terms of underdogs, they weren't quite in that position. I think Kurtley Arendse is going to break the all-time try record in the World Cup, says AJS. And I second that, says Sifo. And also bum massages your way for the rugby season, says Bystander. I got one of those like machine, or not machine, like, you know, those like massage guns. That would be a bit of a weird feeling, wouldn't it? You need at least 4 hours sleep, says Mornay. Although I think they always say you should try and get 8. But in the Rugby World Cup weekends, I don't think I'm going to be getting that. I think I'm going to be spending about maybe 50 hours awake and about 6 hours of sleep throughout that time. But it's what we've got to do. We've been waiting for these Rugby World Cup games for over 1,000 days, doing live streams from all around the world. In terms of the different competitions, we're not going to let a little sleep stop us from covering these games. 38 minutes remaining though. Jameson Gisborne Park, 45 metres out from their own line here, Ireland. They will look for a set piece, I would assume. Ball now is fed in. Relatively solid scrum from the Romanians. They haven't been too bad in that department throughout the game, although now it starts to wheel the Irish, keeping that ball in as long as physically possible to milk that advantage. Now Sexton goes off to James Lowe. Massive shot coming in on him in the midfield. England are going home early, enough said, says Power Bite. Our first try wins in it. That's a new World Cup rule, says Sebastian. Tell you what, you would have been absolutely ecstatic when that happened, Sebastian. I gave you a wee shout out after they scored it. Yeah, what have you seen from the Romanians in this game that you're thinking, right, they should go all right? How do you think they'll go against Tonga is probably a good question. This bottle is becoming more and more empty. Currently 37 minutes remaining. 33 points to Hayden Ireland now with a 5 metre line out just out from the Romanian line. Italy is first in Pool A, says AJS. They certainly are. France in second on the 4 points. They weren't able to get themselves the bonus point win over the All Blacks. Nicely taken by James Ryan. Now Ireland getting just that little bit closer to the Romanian try line. Henderson pops the ball up. In fact, no, sorry, it's McCarthy. Henderson will be coming off the bench instead. Well, Tonga is the only realistic chance. I just wanted some points on the scoreboard from this game, to be honest, says Sebastian. Now penalty advantage against Romania. Peter O'Mahony manages to find his offload away to Jameson Gisborne Park, who is looking like he's going to be held up over the try line. No drag down, just short. The ball is available now for Ireland once more. Peter O'Mahony round the side of the breakdown. That is very close for the Irish. And now they are held up. They will go back for the original penalty. I would be shocked if either England, Australia or Wales win the World Cup. I don't think Scotland or Argentina can win, but are most likely to cause an upset, Says a wise one, and try for Ireland, says move. Yeah, they are only 5 metres out, and I believe they will look to go for that quick tap. Question is, who's going to do it? It looks like Rob Herring as the man who taps, and he goes only 1 metre out. No, he gets his hand out and manages to score the try. I think one of the Romanians thought that his side won the penalty. He was clapping, but then he realised that the referee was actually giving the try. You're a brave man. I will take my hat off to you, says Mornay Lagrange. And also, I'm surprised that French win yesterday, says Andrea. And France had the most advantage with home ground advantage. A lot more fans in France, says AJS. Rob Herring decides to just crawl forward, get over the try line with the little shimmy. And Ireland now sit 38 points today. Andrea, where do you watch? So, depending on whereabouts you are in the world will depend on your options of being able to watch this game. So, I highly recommend checking out the Rugby World Cup website. They will have a section on there saying where to watch. And then, depending on where you are in the world, will depend on your watching options. What do you think the final score will be? I would say with the fact that we're seeing a few more tries now, probably flowing for Ireland in the second half, I would go with a scoreline of Ireland winning by, to be honest, they could win by 70 here. I think my initial prediction was about 58 or 53 points for the Irish, but they look like they should be able to creep up just that little bit further. Scotland to cause an upset by losing to Tonga, says Bowbite. Also, we have got their Virgin Media 1 as an option for moved. Ball kicked off high, straight out on the full. Mistake made. They couldn't really afford there. Conor Murray warming up on the sideline, although it won't take much to warm up, seeing as the temperature is around that 30-degree mark. Romanians looking deflated now, says Yvonne. I think it's just the lack of position is hurting them here. Can you tell Low to get a try, please, says Devon. I will try my best. I don't think you'll hear me, sadly. When I had long here, some people said I actually kind of looked like James Lowe, but then as soon as I cut it, everyone was like, I don't know why we thought that. I also think Tonga will beat Scotland. Kiwi, do you think Ireland will beat the Box? It's a great question. I feel like I'm going to need to see both sides play twice, and then I'll make up my mind in that regard. I did initially go Springboks to win that game 17 points to 14, though, in my overall World Cup prediction. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how the form is going for the two sides before we judge it too much. Do Ireland have Tonga next Saturday, says Connor? They certainly do. So the next game will be up against the Tongans. For Romania, their next game will be up against the Springboks. That is going to be on a Monday morning time of 1 a.m. for us here in New Zealand. Now the ball is loose from Romania. Or sorry, from Ireland actually dropping that ball. So Romania now end up with a possession going for the kick in behind. It's going to sit up nicely for Hugo Keenan, who was waiting at the back. Now looking for the 50-22, I believe it was just outside. About 23 metres out from the line. And Ireland versus France at the final, says David. I mean, I've heard a lot of people say an All Six Nations final, and I've also heard a whole heap of people saying a New Zealand versus Springboks final. So it's hard to judge. Okay, it was outside of the 22, they've said. So now Romania should have themselves the line out here. And also we've got their 75-13 as the final score, says Craig. It's hard to tell from that angle, but I believe it was just out from that 22. And Hamish is great at it. Keep it up, mate. Big things. Says Bystander. And All Blacks versus Ireland final, says Karinska there. Romania with Kojukaru. Once again, we'll throw this ball. And I see that there's a number 24 on the field. I'm not too sure who that is. Maybe a jersey didn't need replaced. Now back into the pocket again. A lot of pressure on Rupanu, but he has been able to kick it down the middle of the park to James Lowe. Now slings it across to the right with Keenan. Going off now to Gary Ringrose and the French Sun. So if they go for the box kick from this side of the field, it will be very hard for Romania to see where it is. Big run forward though from Rob Herring. Finds the offline to Bundyaki with a good run up to 20 metres out from the line. Ireland protecting the ball nicely. Sexton now skip pass. Out to Lowe, has got Byrne with him, but decides to go himself Lowe, but he will be just short of the try line off to Peter O'Mahony, who's in wide open space and gets another try. And yes, agree, Ireland versus France for a final. Remember, Munster beat the Stormers in their home ground. Sometimes overconfidence go against you, says Patricia Black. That's the South Africa versus France final watch, says AJS. And also, We have got the Wallabies, the dark horse, says David. I think that a lot of people probably are underestimating what the Wallabies will be able to do in this competition. Another team in a similar boat, I believe, would be Argentina. Not too many people have them finishing too highly, but I could see them making it to roughly that semi-finals, maybe even at a stretch the final. We have got there based upon the game format and having an open running game. It would be great to see Japan and Wales in the final. I agree, not realistic. It would be great entertainment. So here's Gary Smith. Keep playing a blinder, says he, or a blinder, says Yvonne. What's the feeling about Tavai in New Zealand after the French match? People aren't really happy with his performance, to be honest. He wasn't really able to step up. People were saying maybe Jacobson should have been that starting six, which I believe he should have been in that game after the injury. But they took a risk and it in no way paid off, which has almost summarised the All Blacks the last few games that they have played. Now, Johnny Sexton gets that kick over. So that will now make the score 47 points to 8 in favour of the Irish. We're only sitting 51 minutes through this game, so Ireland almost going at a point a minute at this point. Peter O'Mahony, the veteran, scores himself a try. No one getting themselves a double as of yet, so that will be a question, ladies and gentlemen, of the players who have already got one try. Who do you think will end up with the 2 tries? In fact, we can even have it as a player who didn't get themselves a try as of yet. Who will be the first player in this game to score twice? I'm going to go with Tyke Byrne, to be honest. I feel like him out on the wing might be where they decide to go to. Gibson Park also probably a reasonable shout. Johnny Sexton passing the ball off short to Caelan Doris. Knock on there from Jeremy Luckman for his first touch of the day. Could we score 80 points? Says Barry, I think there's a decent chance that the Irish can get towards that 80 points here. Bundyaki, says Yvonne. Very good shout with the way that he's been playing. Yeah, Luckman hits him on the hand, bounces forward. Isn't able to hang on to that one. And also, I will, in the window next to you, also looking, and a well-earned rest for the lads, says Brian. Yeah, quite a few changes have been made, so Tyke Furlong making his way off the field. Same with Andrew Porter. And that is going to be for Tom O'Toole and Jeremy Luckman. Now, Romania. Another scrum feed here. Rapanu, the only player for the Romanians to score a try at this point of the Rugby World Cup. Perhaps one of those men in the back line. To be honest, Manu Moore, he doesn't look like he's the quickest player, but he's got a bit of size to him. So perhaps that is what they've got to do. Put it out to his wing, see if he can bump straight over the top of Keith Earls. Maybe even in that midfield. Tangimana, Tomani. 2 options, though. Lordy, I'll be back on this channel, liked and subbed. But this is barely rugby by, says Brian. And there as well. Well, thank you very much for that subscribing. And we have, of course, got a few more games coming up of round 1 in the Rugby World Cup. Could be Keenan for the double, says Stephen. Very true. Joining into that back line quite nicely throughout the 80 minutes. This will be very handy for Ireland, though, to increase that points differential in what could end up being a very close pull. Now, big scrum from the Irish. Ball has popped out just in favour of Sharika there. And the ball is not going to come out there, so no attacking opportunity for the Romanians. Scrum feed now for Ireland. I believe they will look to get themselves the penalty here. They are just showing there the Romanian coach. He has got the fan on him. Of course, the heat. It's pretty tricky out there. I think it's an okay game, but I'm biased. Says Yvonne in France, this is New Zealand. Too much kicking, not AB style, says David. Exactly right. I think that they looked to play the French at their own game, but New Zealand got exposed as a side that cannot play that kicking territory battle because they are way better off when they just run that ball. We didn't really get to see enough of that from the AB's back line, but then at times when they were giving away penalties and also dropping the ball, it made it very tricky to get to see that kind of momentum forming. France versus one of the South Africa, Ireland or New Zealand is the likely final, says Wise One. Argentina beat England. Japanese pile on. Pull off a great win over England. Samoa sent blood and defeat England. England sent home, says a power bite. There will be a knock on from Ireland here. Another scrum feed, which we have had quite a few of in the second half. That's actually the same trend as we saw in the Italy versus Namibia game. Quite a few more scrums coming throughout the second 40 minutes. It sounds like there are going to be a few more subs now being made, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think it will be too long till we see Johnny Sexton taken off the field for Ireland. They don't want to risk his injury. We did see him holding that wrist just a little bit earlier on also. Gary Ringrose taking some deep breaths. Playing well at number 13. It is now going to be the Romanian number 2. Kujokaru, who will be making his way off of the field. Getting a big handshake from one of the trainers saying, brilliantly done. He's had a pretty solid game. He's actually had better line-out accuracy, I believe, than the Irish starting number 2, Rob Herring. Good works from Romania. Nice try. Keep it going. Says Blues, Nate, and I'm sure you are excited for that game just around the corner, Nate. Australia versus Georgia. I think the one thing that I'm not so excited about is trying to pronounce those Georgian names because they do not quite roll off the tongue the way I would like them to. Gone down on the front row again. Referee gives the penalty to Romania this time. Johnny Sexton has made a glass. Says power by, and love it, says wise one. And also, we had about the good work from Romania with their nice try. 25 minutes remaining. This is another opportunity to kick it into the corner. Look to add plenty more points on the board. And that will be about 5 metres out. Brilliant kick from the young number 15 here. And it looks like, is that going to be the last thing he does? No, it is instead the Irish subs, Ian Henderson and Josh Van den Vlaar, both making their way out there. No, he's just old. Says Yvonne. 5 and 8. So that will be Caelan Doris off the field and James Ryan, the other man, who will be replaced. Oi, how's it going, boss? Yes, up to Georgians. Says Blues, Nate. 2 men wearing the scrum caps. Doris, he was solid early on in the game, but probably was a little bit more quiet throughout the second half of the game. Nicely thrown in, though, by Romania. Now looking to get this rolling maul going forward. Does look like it's in a relatively good position at the moment, and the Romanians, they sense that they can use this one to march forward just that little bit further. They've got both the centres, Tangimana as well as Tomani, both joining in, but the Irish defending it well just for now. Spankin coming for the man at the back of the Romanian one. It has been dragged out, and now Ireland just going to dive on it. Is it stuck in there? No, it's actually available for Ireland to use. No, it's on the side of Romania. I couldn't even see that ball. But now, Romania 10 metres out from the line. They have got a man way out on the wing. It is that man, Manu Mua. The man who I mentioned earlier on has got the size. So maybe if they can get it out there, they might be able to score in the corner. Nice carry forward, though, for Romania. I think the most phases that they'll put together in this game is about 7. They're looking to improve on that here. But the penalty goes to Ireland. And it's Joe McCarthy who gets over the ball to wins the turnover. Emulating by Romania, says MJ. And also has Romania full of South Sea Islanders or something, says Power. There are a few of the Pacific Island players in the Romanian backline, but the forwards are made up of the Romanians, and they are solid in that department. Romania make a historic comeback, says Robert Wood. And also we have there, Johnny is getting now, bro. Or getting on now, bro. He's been going since 2009 for Ireland. So nah, bro, he's not made of glass. Says Kennewick, and also Yolandi has said hi, welcome in. Hope you are doing very well. Looks like the sub is now being made. That will be Manu Mua making his way off. Now Ireland looking to go for that rolling maul, trying to show Romania how to do it, and they are now just running forward here, breaking away up the middle. It is going to be Josh Van den Vlaar, a fantastic player. Now Ireland out on the wing. Keith Thurles, we mentioned about it earlier on, who will be the first player to get themselves 2 tries in this game. Romania get themselves the penalty. Nice work from Nicholas Onutu to win it there. And facts, says AJS. Can you imagine what the Springboks are going to do with this Romania? It'll be carnage, says Jose. And hi Yolandi, says Kernowick. And there's Big Dude, says Wise One. Let's go, Kiwi Lads. Commentator at his best, says Blues Nate. And anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are currently only 40 subscribers away from hitting that 30,000. So if you do want to help us out, please do hit that subscribe button. We are back for most, if not all, of the Rugby World Cup games that are taking place. We've got previews as well as lineup videos that will be coming out as well in the near future. Sadly, I got to teach folk to look at format of pools and knockouts, says Gordon. France versus Ireland can only happen in the semis, no chance of the final. See, Gordon, although if France and Ireland, although this is a good kick in behind from Ireland, so if France and Ireland both win their quarterfinals, They will then, brilliant run. Once again, I think they actually end up on the opposite side of the draw, don't they, Gordon? Or is it, if it's New Zealand and South Africa, they end up on the opposite side? Ireland or the Springboks, says Yolandi. It's a great question, and soon we will get to find out, only 2 weeks away from that match taking place. We have got their most World Cup finals, have had a Northern and Southern Hemisphere side taking part. All but 2 finals, I think, says Akaris. And all gents, says Kyle, welcome in. Kiwi lads on the road to 30k, says Blues Nate. Another great run from Valvasa. I feel like he has had an outstanding game. Just ended up dropping the ball at the last moment. The score 52-8, no, says Kellen. Not at this stage, unless, of course, I am slightly behind in the coverage. But for myself, it is still 47 points to 8. And we have now got another drinks break. Ladies and gentlemen, we get one of those per half of the game. And while we have got this drinks break, we will mention about what we have got just around the corner. There are still quite a few games of the first round in the Rugby World Cup. Australia versus Georgia is the next one we are covering. That is taking place at 4 a.m. New Zealand time. England playing Argentina at 7 a.m. And then tomorrow, Japan versus Chile, South Africa versus Scotland, and Wales taking on the Flying Fijians. So still plenty more exciting games just around the corner. We will be covering every single one of them on the channel, even though by the end my voice might start to cut out. And we have got there, Box Boys, yeah, comes before 1, says Kuno Wick. They are just talking about the fact that the Irish have left Johnny Sexton still out on the field, not willing to make that sub, and that is something that could backfire or something that could benefit the Irish, just giving him that little bit more game time. He's got ice on the back of his neck. Perhaps they're going to play until about 70 minutes. Keith says Richard, who will be able to get themselves the first double, Ireland versus South Africa on the 22nd. Going to be interesting. Here's Callan. Yeah, it's certainly going to tell us a lot about this group of Pool B, because depending on how Scotland go up against the Springboks, Ireland going to be playing Scotland in the final round of the pool stage fixtures. Aki will be the first to score twice, says Akaris. Just showing some of the highlights. Peter O'Mahony, another man who was able to get himself over the line for Ireland in this game. He might need the time in his legs, says Yvonne. And also, Waterboy, drink water, says Blues. Nate there, and Valvasa is an excellent player. He certainly is. I know that people were talking about having certain players in their fantasy sides. And I feel like anyone who picked Valvasa would actually be in a pretty happy mood, I would say. He's been one of the best fly halves throughout the game so far. And Valvasa for Romania, says Blues Nate, and Ireland versus South Africa will be real good, says Kernovic. And also Romania aren't taking any cheap or dirty shots, says Yvonne. And quick question, how are you feeling about the ABs, mate, says Red Hell. They've certainly got to improve on quite a few things before heading into their next few games. Connor Murray now making his way out onto the field. Yeah, discipline-wise, it was pretty poor from the ABs in that game. I've just mentioned that Keith Earls has made his way off the field, but Johnny Sexton, he will remain out there for a little bit longer. I see as well that Josh Van den Flair has taken the spot of 7 from Peter O'Mahony, and O'Mahony has gone into the 8 position on the scrum. It's gone down in the front. And once again, is a penalty in favour of Ireland. They've still got 20 minutes to work here, so they will probably kick it to the corner, keep on applying that pressure. Argentina match night will be interesting, says Richard Morris. And if Johnny Sexton is so solid, how come everyone talks so anxiously about him still being on the pitch at even 45 to 50 minutes, says Power Bite? Well, because this is a World Cup Power Bite, and there are plenty more games coming up. And I would say that if they lose him in this game up against Romania, they would not be too happy about it. So they're saving him for the big matches because they know how much of an impact that man can have. So that is why people are talking about him still being out there at this point. Well, Richard, I'm looking forward to it. I expect you are too, says Kerno Rick. And didn't expect Sexton to play so early, says Mark Steele. And there as well. But Valvasa now making his way off the field. He's had a very good game. Now another throw here for Rob Herring. Straight into Tyg Byrne. Advantage in favour of the Irish. Herring with the inside ball. Goes off to Mac Hansen. His first touch since replacing Keith Thurls now. Josh Van den Flair, short pass, huge shot on Hugo Keenan there. Now Luckman, double shot coming in on him, moves back to 10 metres out. It looks like the Romanian player has actually stayed down. Now Hansen, he's got the option of passing on the outside to Tygburn, decides against using him. Now Murray goes to the short side, tries to snipe himself. Omani, pop ball up to Joe McCarthy, Bundyaki. He will want to have the pick and go, or does he? He goes across to Josh Van den Flair instead. Romania, they have to be very careful not giving away too many penalty advantages from where they are on the field, or else they could find themselves in quite a spot of bother. Now back across, Murray goes to Sexton, short ball to Bundyaki, 3 metres out from the line now. Another pop ball up. Henderson, he's picked up, he's put onto his back, but the ball is still just a little bit away from the try. McCarthy, big shot coming in on him by the Romanian defence. Murray looking for his next passing option. He's found him. It's going to be Johnny Sexton who scores the first double of this contest. I can tell you right now, not too many people were predicting that one. My fantasy squad is looking good, says AJS. Ain't no chance of giving Romania a 0, unfortunately, says Blues Nate. Has anyone noticed that no one has the same anxiety about Tommaso Allen or Richie Mo'unga? Both playing 4 matches, says Power Bite. But I think the difference is both of those men have been playing consistently over the last few weeks. Johnny Sexton, he has been left out of the side due to his suspension. He did play a little bit for Ireland A few weeks ago. But I think that the benefit that the All Blacks have for Richie Mo'unga is they've still got Damien McKenzie, still got Beauden Barrett as those 10 options. A lot of Irish supporters know that if Johnny Sexton's gone, there's quite a big margin before you get to the next fly half for their side. I have no French or New Zealand players, says AJS. And also Captain Sexton, says Jasper. So yeah, you will be doing very nicely in that department. And yep, AB's discipline isn't the best. They can't handle the pressure if it's relentless. Top sides have soon learned that sustaining pressure is how you beat the ABs, it seems just now. Early days, mind. Says Kerno Wick. I was too late to choose Sexton, says AJS. I'm rooting for Argentina, says Richard. And that game is now only 4 hours away, ladies and gentlemen. The next game that is taking place is in an hour's time. That will be the match between Australia and Georgia. We are covering that game on the channel as well. Anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is hugely appreciated you all being here for these late night games. Yeah, we are currently only 26 away from the 30,000 subscriber mark. So if you do want to help us out, do you want to help us get there by the end of the stream, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We have got there Ireland to overtake AB's winning streak 17. Ireland on 14 wins straight. Yeah, so they're doing very nicely, although before that winning streak would be a record, they do have that South African game, which I know a lot of people are looking at. But I root for all other Six Nations teams, says Richard. And 54-8, says Shay. And there as well. We have got there a little bit earlier on, but I root for all the other Six Nations teams. And at the moment, 3 from 3 for Six Nations sides. Of course, no Six Nations team playing in the next game. Watching from Bolivia's show is way better than every other commentary available here, says Dave. Thank you very much, mate. Jeremy Luckman breaking the line, finding another offload to Keenan. Bundyaki just knocking it on partially. Could have been in for his double. True that. Hamish boxing the Irish, says Blues Nate. And most play in the region, no? Says Richard. Yeah, if you count Georgia as a part of, I guess, the Summer Nations series, they were also involved in that one. In terms of a couple years, or the Autumn Nations Cup, I should say. How many tries is that? I've lost count, says Brian. I believe that is now 8 tries for the Irish. 2 scored by Johnny Sexton. 1 scored by Tygburn. 1 scored by Peter O'Mahony. Jameson Gibson Park got 1. Bundyarki's got 1. And Hugo Keenan has 1. I believe that was 8. Somewhere around there anyway. An interesting Ireland holding up well under the heat, says Yvonne. And now Johnny Sexton making his way off at 65 minutes. Jack Crowley will get a little bit of an opportunity late. The Irish fans all standing for that man, getting himself 2 tries in this game. I got Bundyaki on my fantasy team. Got me 140 points, says AJS. And the training down in Portugal has helped them cope with hot weather, I think, says Kernovic. And Ireland looking smooth, says Gary. And Sexton off says, yes, but he is indeed. So Crowley now will take on that number 10 jersey for the last 15 minutes of this game. Romanians. They will have themselves the scrum feed here. Already the ice pack's being run over to Johnny Sexton. He's actually turned them down, so he must be feeling not too bad overall. And also I hope France scares me, says Richard, and Ireland beginning to get it together now. And Georgia is in the Eastern Bloc, found beneath Romania, says Robert Wood. Oh no, Johnny Sexton now has got the ice pack on the chest. Maybe the front of the neck, hopefully nothing too serious. There for Sexton, prefer going against South Africa, says Richard. Do see also that Manu Moore has made his way back onto the field. That is due to a little bit of a change that they have to make in their backline for the Romanians. South African here, box for the win 2023. Says Evie. So it is going to be the number 12, Tangi Mana, who makes his way off. Or the All Blacks, says Richard. And ball about to be fed in by Rupanu. Still the lone try scorer for the Romanians, am I right? They're all but two finals have had a Northern and Southern Hemisphere side taking part. Says Akaris, I believe that is correct. The big question would be who were the ones that were, I think it was, were New Zealand and Australia in one final for one of the years. Now back across to the right-hand side, short ball to Bundyaki. Romania, they just haven't had enough possession here, allowing the Irish to just keep on firing players at the defensive line. Another big run forward from Ian Henderson. Murray uses it quickly to the left-hand side. Bundyaki sells the dummy, then goes on the outside. Here comes the big man, Joe McCarthy. Did he stay on the field of play? Not quite. Wayne Barnes says the ball was out, but there was also a knock-on in the process. So now Romania have the option of either scrum or the line-out. Sexton is like, see ya, they sum him off 60 minutes. All the other captains stay on until around 75 minutes full time. CS power bite. Yes, Khaleesi, once again, you look at him and what he's done recently. He has just come back from injury. So they don't want to lose him this early on in a Rugby World Cup. Plus, when you've got the cover off the bench to be able to make that change, and when you're winning games, it means that it doesn't really hurt you that much having to make that switch. Am I right? Oh, we have got the ice pack for heat, not injury, says Yvonne. And also we have good there. I have Skelton, James Slipper and Tupou from Australia on my fantasy team. Do you think they're all good, going to perform good? I think the scrum's going to be a big tester for you, because when you look at those names with Slipper and Tupou, we're going to get to see them go up against a big Georgian forward pack who certainly love to bring that physicality. Right now, my only concern is for our box to put Scotland away tomorrow, says Gary Peter. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning in New Zealand. Or is it, says Mornay? It is indeed 3:07 a.m. New Zealand time. Ooh, almost knocked the green screen over. So yeah, we've got 2 more games taking place today. The last one of which will be finishing in around 6 hours time. And then after that, we have still got 3 more games tomorrow that we will be covering on the channel as well. But Connor Murray now, big step from McCarthy. He deserves a try. He's been playing well throughout this game. And now he will run in the 9th try of the match for the Irish. And Slipper not playing, says Jesper. And also still fair play to Romania for getting that try, says Brian. And France, $3.75. South Africa, $4.33. All Blacks, $4.50. And Ireland, $5.50. That's what UK bookmakers say, says Wise One. And are they the top 4 likeliness to win the World Cup? Who's the top one on the other side of the draw? Is it England or Argentina or Australia who come in at the top? Do let me know. I would take Ireland, but biased. They are the number 1 team in the world. Today wasn't even the A team, says Richard Morris. Well, it's pretty close to an A side. You know, you look through, I think other than injuries is probably the thing that you got to equate into it. Like they're missing Dan Sheehan. In terms of that back line, you'd say they're missing maybe Mac Hansen, although he is out there on the field now. Other than that, though, I say that this Irish side, with a couple exceptions, is still very strong. And Aussies can handle the hot heat. Queensland temperatures is high, says Blues Nate. And also I think it was the Wallabies 12 before England 13, says Wise One. So yeah, they certainly feel that it's going to be one of the 4 sides on A or B side of the draw that walk away. Fit Khaleesi got subbed off at 60 minutes last World Cup final. Once Slow came on, South Africa were able to finally open up. Khaleesi had been limiting them, says Power Bite. So you're saying that you don't mind when they sub him early then? I guess, because you were saying earlier on about it taking place, how maybe you can't play the 80 minutes, but maybe that's the perfect time to take him off so that the X-Factor player off the bench can create that chance. Now, Andrew Porter, 40 metres out from the line. Ireland do not look like they have finished attacking as of yet. Quick hands from James Lowe. It's close to forward, but it's nicely done now. Matt Hansen. Take a look. Oh, a bit of a kick to the face for the Romanian replacement fly half. Roster Byrne. He's also had a relatively solid game. Daniel said hello. Hope you are doing well. And James Lowe is too quiet, says Stephen. Yeah, they haven't really found him a huge amount throughout this game overall. We saw a bit of his kicking early on with the left boot, but other than that, hasn't really looked too likely to score a try. He had that one chance where he was just a couple metres out. Bundy Arkeen now going off to the left, although to be fair, they have gone left a lot more than they've gone right throughout this game. And James Lowe has been a long way off his wing for a majority of it. Luckman with a nice straightening run. Now short ball again. Tyg Byrne thought about the offload option to Hansen. Decides to take it to ground. Crowley now slings it across there. Nice big fend coming in from Gary Ringrose. They can get this one out left. They have got a good chance of scoring. Quick hands. Peter O'Mahony slams the ball down. And we'll get another one. Fair play to Romania for their try. And their penalty, beaten on points. But on the heart and the mind, respect to them, says Kerno Wick. And their 12 points difference should be important if Scotland, Ireland, and the Bok are in a Mexican standoff, says Yvonne. They did see the chance of an overlap on the right. Hits Peter O'Mahony in the face. It bounces down from the face to the hands. And he slams that ball down for yet again another try. Now still 10 minutes remaining. There's still time for the Irish to possibly work their way towards that 80 points. Points differential currently sitting 58. And the bonus point is in hand for the Irish. New Zealand and England share the record for consecutive wins, I believe. Says Akatis. Yeah, it's about 17, I think someone said earlier on. Let's come on Ireland. Says DK. Taking some deep breaths here. Jack Crowley, his first kick of the day, and he has nailed it straight down the middle of the posts, making the score 68 points to 8. The Irish fans loving the action, loving the sun in France as well. O'Mahony, he's got a chance at a hat-trick here. He would be the first player of this World Cup to be able to do so if he can run in this next try. He's got 8.5 minutes to try and do so. The next game it has taken place in around 45 minutes time, ladies and gentlemen. That will be the game between Georgia and Australia. So if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are less than 20 away from the 30,000 subscribers. Do you reckon Lowe will score a try here? I think he's a little bit unlikely, to be honest. He just hasn't really looked like he's been in the right place, right time to be able to score. Though saying that, if they keep on using their backline, maybe he does have that decent crack. Nice quick hands from Ireland. Beautiful set piece. James Lowe on the inside. Okay, now he's got a decent chance, but a great low tackle made on him. Finally offload up to Connor Murray, and now Luckman does get tackled 35 metres out from the line. Crowley looks for the cross kick, goes to Tyg Byrne, just runs out of space, and he stayed down there, Tyg Byrne. They've taken a quick tap, Romania, but they go back for the initial penalty. Ireland 10 tries, says Jody. It's very difficult to get emotion from Peter O'Mahony, says O'Brien there, and Joe McCarthy is a beast. He's played very well at number 4, and I feel like that will give the Irish quite a bit of confidence knowing that they have got him as an option going forward. Of course, they will want to test him on one of those bigger matches to see if he can handle that side of things as well, but yeah, he's had a very good showing throughout this one. I'm waiting England after, says Joe D. Will Romania ever be able to contest for the World Cup? I feel bad. Says, okay, I mean, it's like all things. It's good things take time, and for Romania, you know, the longer that they're playing rugby, the more chance that they will have of slowly catching up with some of the other sides, the more development, the more financing that they can get behind their team. But you know, Romania have shown moments in this game. And I know that the scoreline, people will go like, oh, it's a hiding, it's very one-sided. But they can do more of what they did in the early stages of this match. That beautiful try that they were able to get off Rupanu. You know, like maybe they have got a decent chance in the future. 75 on the way, says Brian. It does seem that way, definitely with where the Romanians are currently attacking from, only 10 metres out from their own line. Crowley is a good solid young replacement for Sexton. Says Richard back into the pocket now. A lot of pressure being put on by this Irish side. Trying to increase that points differential as much as physically possible. Come on, Ireland, says Patrick. Also, we have got there, yes, Devon, surprised to see low not on the board, says Brian. And just not England, says Richard. And New Zealand versus South Africa and New Zealand versus Australia, the All-Southern Hemisphere finals, says Akaris. Now they will be taking off Gabriel Rupano, the man who has scored that one try. Will we reach 90? I don't think so. Don't think there's enough time left on the clock. They might be able to get in the 80s. Big run from Bundy Archie. Scores another try, flat run, and he now brings up his second try for the Irish as well. There are 3 players who have got themselves doubles throughout this game. And also we have got there, we have got New Zealand playing in both semi-finals. Says Power Bite. I think if you're talking about Akaris's one, he's talking about the only 2 times that Southern Hemisphere have had 2 teams in the final rather than what's going to happen for this one. And good line-out win by Romania. Ireland line-out. Still a bit iffy. Says Brian and Johnny breaking records. Says Richard and OMG 11 tries. Says Joe, a big run from Bundy Archie to break through. He's had a sensational game as well. Now, Ireland, they move up to 73. This chat, Irish fans and South African fans going back and forth. Says Blues now. Now you get to see Crowley. Says Richard and Romania number 10. What a player. I bet teams are looking at him, says Oscar. Yeah, he's looked very strong. Hinkley Volvassa is the name. Sure, a few people will remember it after this one. Not too far off. Archie mission critical for this team. Or crucial for this team, I should say. From Yvonne and hi, says DK. Welcome in once again. Now 5 minutes remaining. So there's a chance that they get to 80. Like I mentioned, I think 90 might be a bit too far out. Who just scored it? It was Bundy Archie, who got himself his second try. Can they hit over 80? I think so. I think that at the moment the Irish have just well and truly got this momentum. Romania don't seem to be able to find an answer of how to stop it currently. Nicely taken by Peter O'Mahony in just the one hand. Taking it beautifully now. The back line once again firing. Low tackle made on Mac Hansen, but another offload coming for Josh Van den Flair. Sitting now 35 metres out from their own line here, Ireland. They aren't rushing it either. Beautiful inside ball. Going to the hands of Mac Hansen. It was the little flick pass around the back. I mean, 80 I can't count, says Brian. But yeah, I think that they should be able to get to 80. They want to keep on playing as long as they can. Another offload from Peter O'Mahony goes to Jeremy Luckman, who's actually had quite a few running metres for a prop. An A+, let's go, says Adam. Although it looks like the ball might have been stolen there by the Romanians. Able to get it back. It's called as a maul though, so straight back into the hands of Ireland for the scrum. Ireland is beating the minus 66 spread well. Excellent performances. Wise one and fair play to you for acknowledging the effort made by Romania in this game, says Patricia Black. Yeah, that's the thing. Like some of these sides that they weren't expected to win. It's similar with Namibia, but we can still take positives out of the way that they've been able to play. And I feel like it's what you got to do with those nations. You know, let them know that they are making progress and that there is a chance that in the future, if they keep on progressing, they can beat some of these big sides. We've seen massive upsets before. Just isn't quite Romania's day to be able to take down Ireland. 3 minutes remaining. Scrum feed now for Connor Murray. It's gone down once again in the front rows and another penalty going the way of Ireland. They will kick this one for the corner more than likely. Try and put on that little bit of extra pressure throughout the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds. We are going down to the wire as well, ladies and gentlemen. So if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are currently 13 away from 30,000. So we may be able to hit it by the end of the stream, although we have only got about 3 or 4 minutes remaining in this game. So if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We have got Australia versus Georgia just around the corner, as well as Argentina taking on England a little bit later on. Bundy has been finding great form just now. He'll peak anytime. Then look out. Says Kernowick, and I think Bundy brings that extra power. Loose ball from Ireland. Once again, the line out. I think that's about the 4th time so far in this match that it hasn't quite been able to deliver. Going to the left-hand side now for the Romanians. They get themselves maybe a last-minute try in this game. Ball bounces out. Loose ball now. Have had to clean it up. Ireland trying to get onto it. Just keeping it on their side now. It is Nicholas Onutu, the youngster. Out on the right wing. He is tackled hard by Ian Henderson. Now Romania decide to go back into the pocket. And Lavaki and low, says Richard. The My Japan showed us that day. And subscribe, guys, subscribe. Says Red Hell in there. And I don't know what it is about the format here. It's very easy to forget to hit the like button. I usually have to be reminded. Says Brian in there as well. 1 minute remaining on the clock now. Will be an Irish line out. I believe they have just announced Peter O'Mahony as the man of the match. Phenomenal performance from him. 2 tries, also getting a couple turnovers in the breakdown. Putting on a real show for the crowd. Like and subbed. I thought I already was. Oops, says Shay. Thank you very much, though. Usually appreciate it. We are now 3 away from that 30 mark, which is absolutely insane, I should mention, but it's a flat ball out to James Lowe. Nicely tackled by Simeonscu. And cheers for covering the game. I liked and sub. Lad says it was from Adam. Ball taken back by Romania. They did score the first try of the match. Perhaps they can also score the last. Bundyaki has gotten me 202 points, says AJ. Yes, partially charged down kick. Romania, though, chasing after this one. Waiting for the bounce. Nicely taken by their number 7, Nicolou. Though it is a knock-on. Have we got time? Accidental offside. 4 seconds remaining on the clock. Are they going to call it? Or do we get one more scrum? I believe there is time for just that one more. We have arrived at the World Cup, says Irish 1. And sub says a red howl. And we have just brought up the 30,000. We are on 30,002, ladies and gentlemen. So I do thank you all very much for the huge amount of support. We have been doing this for about 3.5 years. It was just after the last Rugby World Cup that we did start the YouTube channel and doing a bit of rugby. And now, with the Rugby World Cup finally being here, it's going to be a very exciting one, that is for sure. Don't forget, they've been playing and temp has been 35 degrees Celsius, says Richard. And Ireland needs to go for another try, says AJS. And 30k, says Adam Kennedy. And there will be a free kick to Ireland. Connor Murray takes the quick tap. They've decided they'll have one last crack at the try line. Good tackle made. Can James Lowe score? That's a big question. He's been relatively quiet throughout this one. Congrats. Says Red Al, thank you very much, mate. And congrats, 30k. Says AJS. Josh Van der Flair driven backwards in a great tackle attempt by the Romanians. And yeah, he says Yvonne. And there as well, now nicely passed off to the right-hand side. Jamison Gibson Park with a wide skip pass. Out to Mac Hansen, straightens, goes through 3 defenders, taken down 15 metres out. Ball is out the side. Romania pick it up, and it's a counter-attack now. It is going to be the youngster Nicholas Onutu has to try and run all the way. He's decided to grubber it because his legs have given out from underneath him. Now Hugo Keenan, he wanted to kick that ball into touch. James Lowe, he looks like he wants to keep playing. Josh Van der Flair, they're only 10 metres out from their line. But they are going to continue trying to get themselves one last try. Mac Hansen, he's a player who still will be relatively fresh after not having to play the full 80 minutes. He's broken through 3 tackles. I've got a donation from Franz Smith. As I always say, congratulations on 30k subscribers. Thank you very much, Franz. Hugely appreciated. And also hugely appreciated for all your support on the streams with your generosity. As of late, kicked behind now. Ball sets up. Bundyaki takes it. Taken down well. Another offload up to Gary Ringrose. It's going to be a foot race. He's got Tyke Byrne on his inside. Does pass it off to him. Unselfish from Ringrose. And Byrne will bring up 2 tries as well. That is 4 Irish players bringing up doubles throughout this game. Cheers for the great coverage again, Amish top man for me, says Kerno Wick. And then congratulations, says Stephen. Thank you very much, mate. And congratulations on 30k subs, says Jacqueline. And there is on congratulations, Kiwi lads, on 30k. Shout out to everybody, says Blues Nate. At the end of the day, we wouldn't have got to the 30k without you guys hitting that subscribe button, without you being here for these live streams each and every week. This game, it's been a relatively one-sided one, but I expect Australia versus Georgia will be a lot closer. And it is just around the corner. Congrats for 30k subs, says Stuart Moore. Thank you very much, mate. And fair play to Romania, good heart, says Yvonne. And Chris said, congratulations on the 30k. Thank you very much. High five on 30k from Dylan. I have Marika Coromberi and Kurtley Arinsa as my wings. I assume that is for your Super Brew side. And Kiwi lads, you beauties. Sorry, Romanian out there. Feel bad that last try by the Irish just bagged my bet of Ireland plus 64.5 up the Irish. At least you play on the box, says Red Hell. And thank you very much for your generosity on this stream as well, mate. And that is probably one of the biggest margins we will see in this first round of the competition. I feel like there's only one other game that could possibly get close to this, and that's probably Japan-Chile. I'd say other than that, though, all these other games could be split by only around that 10 points. You're great for the smoke breaks. I'll be back, bro, says Richard Morris. Love your commentary, bro, says Barry. And there as well. Well done, lads. 80, says Eldon. So 82 points to 8. The end score in this contest, 30k. Amazing. Well done, says Dave. Thank you very much. And massive rugby displays by Ireland. Certainly burning hot favourites for the Rugby World Cup, says Blues Nate. But yeah, like I mentioned, that next game, it is 30 minutes away. We will be back on the channel covering that one alongside Argentina versus England. That has taken place just a little bit after that. But thank you all very much for tuning in. Once again, thank you all very much for 30,000 subscribers. And we will see you all for the next one.